All right, Mike, do the intro.
What is the...
There is no intro. Don't worry.
All right, so this episode, we have a couple special guests joining us. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, special people.
Same time.
I'm Dan Rogers.
No, that's me.
Oh,
You're Mike.
I'm Mike.
Like, we'll do it at the same time. And if we're introducing Dan together. Dan Rogers.
That was the first name that came to mind.
Why not your own? Funny enough,
Not a trick question.
That's not the first time that somebody's done that. So,
Really?
yeah. That one person?
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Oh, that one
Am I
person.
missing something?
No, there was a story about how this person had made out with this girl all night at college. And the girl was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And he just decided to say Dan Rogers. And then the next day, her sorority sister was like, "I looked him up on Facebook, and this is not the guy I made out with."
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we've got the Faulty Boys here. We've got Dan. We got Mike. Look at him in his tongue. Zoom in on that tongue. Oh, we love it. And we're talking about something very special to our hearts. Hearts. Let me run it again. We're talking about something very special from our hearts.
Our hearts.
Bad movies.
Bad movies.
More specifically.
The bad movie list.
Yeah.
Bad movies that... Do we like them?
They're so bad, they're good.
Well, I think
Let's
so.
find out.
Yeah. Bad movies. Do we like them? What do we like about them? Let's find out.
Yeah.
So, whose idea was it to start the... Let's talk about what the list is and whose idea it was to start it.
Did it start with Country Bears?
I thought we did Haunted Mansion before that.
Like, if we're talking about where the interest in bad films came from, it would be The Room.
The
Room
probably
started
be
it for
the
sure,
origin
yeah.
of everything.
And then it just became like, I mean, it's not like we were looking for bad movies at first.
No.
I think that's really true for The Room for a lot of people. The Room is kind of a phenomenon of, like, a lot of people realizing that there's enjoyment in bad movies.
The Room made us realize how much we like to just talk about movies that we don't generally like.
Yeah.
And then to finding out that you can go all the way around to liking those movies again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because at a certain point, The Room might actually be one of my favorite movies.
Well, that's the thing. And the list will show that, like, there are bad movies that we watched, did not enjoy at all, and they're just bad. We don't enjoy anything about watching it, and those ones are at the bottom of our list.
Are those worse movies than the ones that are higher on the list, or are those better movies than they're at the...
Depends.
Yeah, there's
What's
a
your
rating
scale?
system.
Yeah, because like if you're talking about like better movies in terms of like just objectively, like how they were put together, are they better made movies? Some of them probably are, and they just aren't enjoyable enough to be that high on the list. Some of them are just truly bad in every aspect, and there's nothing enjoyable about them. So it's really this is a lesson in bad movies and how to love them.
Bad movies and how to love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jason Meager story.
That sounds...
Fuck us, I guess.
That also doesn't sound like it's the movies I make.
That's not the list. That's just Jason's biopic.
Yeah.
Then we moved to a rating system to eliminate some of those movies that aren't as enjoyable, because it was hard to...
Define what the list even was. You know, we got two in our heads about this stupid list. So now we have a Google Sheets of it. And should we go through the idea or the review or the rating system?
Yes, go over the rating system and then and then we'll just get into the list.
All right, so give us the three.
All right,
criteria.
so our scoring, our enjoyability is from 1 to 10.
The individual person.
Yes, and everybody, we all do a individual review of whoever was in the room. So even like...
We have a guest slot or two.
Yeah, we have several slots for people.
But they're not slots. They're good people.
They're not slots.
Nothing wrong with being a little slotty sometimes.
Don't slot shame people. Okay?
But it's just rating on 1 to 10 of truly just how enjoyable the first viewing was.
Yeah, and
good input.
So the next category is the watchability, like watch again, like
Rewatchability.
Yeah,
for sure,
that's on a 1 to 5, because we thought that we kind of changed. When you can get a broader 1 to 10 than you can get for the rewatchability, like we didn't weight it as much because really it's, the first time viewing of it is supposed to be fun. You don't have to watch it again and it be fun, but I think that plays
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you recommend other people watch it? And that's the list of like, would you tell somebody else to watch it? And then would you be down to watch it with them? Because there are some on those lists that we'd be like, go watch it, but I will not watch it with you.
Because
I've watched it just the one time. I won't want to watch it again. It's too much for me. But
the first time viewing is not going to like be topped, right? Like you're not going to get the same experience again. It's going to go down in quality.
Right.
It's interesting how that actually still applies even with movies that you know are bad going in. Because if you go and sit down at a movie and you don't know it's going to be bad, then it's like, what the hell happened here? What am I watching? But even if you know that it's a bad movie, it's like still impressive how bad movies can get sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
And then our last category is to kind of weed out the higher production value of something. So we have it on 1, 2, and 3 on like its actual production value.
A rating of 1 to 3.
Yes.
1 to 3, but I think it's backwards.
Yeah,
so
backwards.
So the higher the production value is for it, the lower you're going to get.
Yeah, so something like a good example is the Snyder Cut gets a 1 on that because ultimately it had all the money behind it. It was a beautiful looking film, so it checks all those kind of boxes. So it's not like a technical mess or anything like that.
Yeah, and
or at least from our understanding of
movies. And the technical mess is part of the enjoyability, I think. So that's why we gave the 3. And then the 2 is for those like middle ground, like the Haunted Mansion or something like that, where it's like, it was pretty well put together, but it's not like
they broke the bank or
anything. We might have put a 1 for that one, but you know what I'm saying.
Like, and we'll go through it more with the actual movies, but those are the 3 ways to rank them.
I don't think we've given out many 2s.
I don't think so either. Yeah. It's usually a pretty...
it's definitive.
Yeah.
If you're going to be well produced or...
Well, let's start at the top then. Let's start at the ones that have the hot... Because there are some that have a perfect score, right?
The Room is the only one that has a perfect score.
And what is the perfect score?
18s.
18, yeah, okay. So an 18, The Room being 10 in enjoyability, 5 in rewatchability, and a 3 in technical prowess.
A 3 in lack of technical prowess.
Lack of technical prowess.
And I think the reason, even if we kind of disagree with that overall, I think we needed to set something to be the baseline, right? Like,
gold standard.
How do we evaluate all these things? If nothing is ever going to be good, then what does our scale really mean?
Yeah.
So.
And what do you guys think? I feel like I've seen The Room maybe like 8 times in theaters at this point.
Yeah, it's been a fuck ton.
I've only ever seen it once.
Times.
The one time ever.
Yeah.
You've only ever seen it once?
And I think we were all here for it.
Most people have only seen it once.
Yeah. That's the healthy way to watch it.
I didn't only watch it once because I didn't like it.
No,
I just only watched it once because...
It's the only time you've been shown.
You guys showed it to me.
Yeah. And it's not like you're watching alone. You can't. You're not. No one's watching The Room alone.
Right. And like I have known about it and a lot of the scenes from it and stuff for years. I just never actually sat down and watched it.
It's become part of the zeitgeist if you're like at all interested in filmmaking, where I'm meeting more and more people that are like joking around with me about The Room, and then halfway through a conversation be like, no, I've never actually watched it. I've just like watched clips and been told, and it's like, oh wow, you just haven't actually seen the movie.
And then you're like, I've met Tommy twice. Yeah. I was on stage with him and I bought his underwear.
You bought his underwear?
Not his, but he sells Tommy Wiseau underwear now.
Sells Tommy Wiseau merchandise.
Everything, yeah.
That's not as funny as buying the underwear he was wearing.
No.
But it's really funny.
It's funny in a more bleak way, I guess, capitalistically state. Like, it's just like...
So when we met him, he brought everyone brought footballs. Mm-hmm. And was it you that he kept throwing it to because you were the tallest person in the crowd?
It's because you look like a gym teacher.
It's because I look like a gym
who
teacher.
threw it at him and then it hit him in the nuts?
Casey.
Casey.
Because he threw it at Tommy and it hit Tommy in the nuts because he failed to catch it.
Yeah.
And then Tommy's like, you did it on purpose. We got pictures with him both times. We got him in Jason Gets a Bomb Strapped to Him the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Explain a little bit about... We haven't talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, so Jason Gets a Bomb Strapped to Him was an old web series we did, and I'm sure you can guess what it was about. And
no, tell us.
Okay, so this guy, his name was Jason, and
Gets a bomb strapped
he
to
was
him.
walking down... Okay, well, I guess there's no build-up. And... like at the end of the episode, at the end of the series, at like I think it was the last one, or the one before it, we were able to get Tommy to do a couple lines on the phone,
God,
interacting with another one of the characters.
Directing
from the show.
that man was
so strange.
I was gonna say, didn't he give you a hard time about the whole process while you were trying to get it?
It wasn't like he was giving me a hard time, but rather like I was like, okay, you're on the phone with somebody. We're just gonna film it. I'm just gonna give you a line to say, and I'd say the line, and then he wouldn't say it right.
and then eventually he was like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, he's like, I don't understand you, but you're a very groovy guy. Go see The Room.
He plugged The Room in our shitty web series.
We're here to see the movie.
Yeah, like, don't tell us.
It was awesome.
Or my roommate from college, his name was Jake, and he just like aggressively give him a noogie.
Because Jake was like at the bottom part of the picture, so he was just like holding Jake in a weird way. Where Jake was just like, let me go.
Awesome.
Strange guy, lots of belts.
We love him.
Yeah,
He wears
dresses
lots
like a
of
Final
belts.
He
Fantasy
wears
character.
multiple belts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dresses like a Final Fantasy character.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't
He
know.
had like the belt to hold up his pants, and then he has like a belt going across his thighs, and then there was one
that's like tucked below his butt, so like to hold it below his butt in that way.
and then
It's a
He's wearing like a climbing harness when he goes
Yeah,
out.
I swear to God,
So that way he can get hoisted up. It's actually a harness, so that way, if and at a moment's notice, he can fly.
Yeah.
and he really
All right,
does.
bring me up. Goodbye. Go see The Room.
Yeah, he's like the end of the Wizard of Oz.
When you see him in person, you really are like, I don't know how old that man is. He
Yeah.
could be anywhere from like late 30s, early 40s to 70.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. And
Bag of cats.
what a
Jesus.
weird, good times. Hey Tommy, if you're watching this, come make movies with us.
That
Come
would
the
be
next
awesome.
improv movie with us.
Just gonna tell
That
you
would
about
be
some
awesome.
Oh, to have Tommy Wiseau in an improv movie with us, that'd be fucking
Do
incredible.
you think he can improv?
It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter.
We would just
I
do
just want
whatever.
someone to go along with. I
We
don't
would
wanna
do
hit a
whatever
brick
he
wall.
says.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything he
Especially
says,
with the way the
we'd go
improv
with it.
movies are made, with the breaks in there and stuff like that, it would just be a treasure.
Cut.
Yeah, it would
no,
be
we're
a
gonna
treasure.
keep rolling. All right, so the next one on our list is the one that kind of kicked it all off, was the Country Bears.
Yeah.
And
Fuck yeah.
The only reason why it's not like that's a fan favorite of the three of ours.
Yes.
Because we're the fans in this scenario.
I've never
And
seen that one.
what did
you've
you?
never seen the Country Bears?
No.
Do you know
You've
what
never
it is?
seen the Country
Did
Bears.
it get a 5 in rewatchability? Will you show it to me, or do you
Yes.
not
Yeah.
want to rewatch it?
The only reason why it's not high is because it's probably a 1 in that final category. I mean,
If you watched that and gave it a rating, its rating would only go higher. I can guarantee you would enjoy it.
let me tell you why we feel like the construction of this movie is so well done.
Okay.
Because Mike, when he was a child, loved that movie and watched the behind the scenes on the DVD of it. And in the behind the scenes that they made for the DVD, they pretend like the bears are real.
Well, do
And-
you know about this movie at all? Do you know?
Not really,
anything?
no.
Do you know that they're like Jim Henson puppet?
I have like a
versions?
vague image of it looking kind of like the Chuck E. Cheese characters.
No, it's
animatronics,
more
but-
like Bear in the Big Blue House.
Bear in the Big Blue House.
Okay, yeah.
It's more like that kind of bear. Like they're very
They're
convincing.
convincing. Yeah.
And the whole thing kind of has a behind the music vibe to it.
Yes.
At the beginning, so it's very much like playing it as they were this like
They used to be an awesome band.
Yeah.
Then
Behind
they-
the scenes?
Well, no, the movie itself.
Oh, okay.
it
But the
starts
behind the
off.
scenes kind of plays like that too, like they're coming back for their big movie reunion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, and like so the Country Bears is a not a ride, it's like a show, an animatronic show like Chuck E. Cheese in Disney World that they decided Pirates of the Caribbean did well. Let's take another one and
Yeah.
and make a ride into a movie.
I always assumed that Country Bears was much older than Pirates.
no,
I don't think so.
no,
That's
I
funny.
think
Yeah.
Pirates came out.
It's
before.
funny that they did such a good job
With
and then
Pirates
said,
the first
"Let's
time.
make
you
it
know
a bad
two
movie now."
two movies on here are actually Disney rides.
You're right.
Yeah.
With Haunted Mansion and
Wow.
this, yeah. We gotta watch Jungle Cruise.
We gotta go on the room ride.
The little backstory for the whole behind the scenes thing. So my parents kind of refrained from doing video games when we were younger. They were like, we don't know if we want to give them video games right away.
Traumatizing.
So we would go to
No, he would
Disney.
just come to my house and play video
Yeah, I
games.
would go to his house and play those games. But instead of that, they gave us DVD players, and we use those going all the way down to Disney, and they take them away once in a while. But of course, me being the sneak when I was little, would take it to my room and just watch it in the dark. I'd go and watch fucking Jesus Christ. I was like 10 years old.
For you audio listeners.
Oh yeah.
I think they could get it.
But, you know, I said 10, but it was probably more realistically like 7 or 8. And Country Bears is one of the few movies we had on DVD at the time. So I'm watching Country
Which
Bears.
is insane. Hold on, let me pause this for a second. Mike's family had more DVDs than I could ever imagine.
Like 7?
They had like, you know, those those bookcases back there.
Yeah.
It was filled like 3 rows deep, and it would be like that tall.
It's awesome.
And anytime a new Disney film came out, they had it on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that was released from the vault, sometimes they had like 3 or 4 of the same fucking movie.
Country Bears was one of them. The Crocodile Hunter Live, which was a weird movie
I had that
within
one
itself.
too.
The one where it's like a government tracker gets in an alligator and they have to like chase
Hold on,
down
we have
Steve.
to rewatch this and add that one to the
that's
list.
going to be in the list for sure.
That's going on there. Other ones were like the first Harry Potter, but it was like pirated, so it was all in fucking Chinese. They had subtitles. That's
How'd
how
you
we
know
get-
it's Chinese?
Huh?
Yeah.
Because I remember watching it on the way to fucking Disney one
Wait,
time.
the
and I was just
audio
like, yep.
was in Chinese?
And the subtitles were English.
No
all the
way.
actors were Chinese. It's so weird. It was
here's
just
the
all
weird
Cho Chang.
I was going to say, the only one who wasn't Chinese actually was Cho Chang.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, we didn't have a whole lot, so I just picked out Country Bears. I was like, fuck it, I'll watch the Country Bears. And watched the whole movie, and I was not ready to go to sleep, and I kept watching, and I put on the special features. And they're doing the behind-the-scenes stuff, and these bears, they're it seemed like they weren't joking around. They were being totally serious that the bears are coming out of retirement. It's a big deal, and this is all behind the scenes. It's not the movie. So I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they acting like these bears are real? Are they fucking real? What the hell is happening?
Wait, did you think that the bears were real then?
I was 7 years old. I didn't know.
Stupid.
There's no excuse. Yes, he did.
And for like a good chunk of time of his
Yeah,
childhood.
and so you guys rewatched it last year.
So in the dark, I turn off the thing because I'm like, I can't believe that. There's no way. So I
Seems like you did believe it.
did. I will admit it. I probably did.
You shut it and you go, I can believe
Yeah,
it.
that is to show why it gets that one rating. It's that good. It's
They were
7-year-old
very
Mike.
convincing, and it, like special features back in the day were like a lot of times like behind the scenes stuff or like extra like shorts and stuff, and they decided, hey, let's take those 2 ideas and combine them together.
Yeah.
So it's not only a short along with the movie, but it's also behind the scenes of these. So they like
I love that.
they played it as if these bears knew they were acting in the movie the whole time.
It fucked with me.
But it's a great movie. Makes me laugh
Yeah.
every time. I one of those movies that I think almost just doesn't deserve to be on the list. It's just that good.
It's. I was gonna say on that list, it's probably the closest to being an actual good movie and not like.
Yeah.
It is
But
the
ultimately, like, it had to come out like at the time, if we were like, oh, Disney made a new movie, we would have watched it and be like, that was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
it's the
you had to give it some years before you could go back and revisit it
and find the charm.
yeah, the charm is really what drives that. If you were to just look at it with like as far as the storyline goes and why they decided to take, I mean, it is creative, but it's
And the
just
music's
not,
good.
and it's just not something that the general audience or public would want to see.
Is it a musical?
Yeah.
Because it's about musician bears, I imagine.
Yeah.
But
So
it's
every
actually
time they
also
go and get a
musical.
new bear,
It's like kind of a song
That's
to
the
like.
Blues Brothers.
exactly.
Yes, it's Blues Brothers for Bears.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
But
they made it for bears.
Big gay dudes?
Yeah.
Wow.
here's the other kicker: Christopher Walken is the antagonist.
the antagonist. That's
Yeah.
great.
He's
I
like
that.
trying to shut him down.
Yep.
He's like, I want to get rid of Country Bear Hall
Oh
and build something else on
Country
it.
Bear Hall.
He has in his office. He has this like model version of Country Bear Hall, and he'll hit this button, and a giant anvil will come down and crush him. And be like,
awesome.
"Oh no, Country Bear Hall!" And then he'll do it again with a new model. All right,
All
next
right,
one.
next one, not cool. I don't remember a lot about this one.
So Not Cool is a
that-
Shane Dawson movie.
That's Shane
Shane
Dawson.
Dawson high school movie.
Which one was the Fine Brothers?
That is
That's on here though too, right? We can get to that.
that is the prom.
After Prom.
one, After the Prom.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
so
Shane Dawson has a series of movies that he's made. Not like they're connected, but he has like 3 different movies, and I think we've watched them all, or at least 2 out of 3.
We watched 2.
They're all dog shit, and I feel very comfortable saying this, even though I don't usually like to take down other people's art. But it's so gross, misogynistic, homophobic somehow. He's gay, but it's homophobic.
Oh,
Because
he hits all the
before he
check
came out,
boxes.
No, he's just
one of them maybe.
maybe, but he's just tone deaf. Like that's the thing is he's
I mean,
he's
yeah.
fine making fun of it because he's maybe okay with it, or maybe deep down he's not. But it's one of those things where he's making fun of himself, but it's not really making fun of himself.
Yeah.
He's making fun of everybody else.
Yeah, it is weird that like you can tell where his insecurities come from, but then he throws it outward rather than like where some people will put it inward to the movies. It's extra cringy because he's outward about what he's self-conscious about. People in the movie are made fun of for those types of things, but then he plays the coolest character in the movie.
Oh,
always.
yikes.
The cool heartthrob that the girl wants.
Yeah.
You know, it's so hard to watch, and then knowing the behind the scenes of it, because he was part of a reality show where they took 2 up and coming directors, gave them like the budget, was like, you guys are going to make your own movies, and then it's going to be a contest to see which movie wins, and it's going to be like a viewer voter thing. And so he made his movie, this other one made her movie. He won the show and won everything because of course he does. He has an established audience already. Her movie apparently is pretty damn good. This movie like was critically panned, and the show is like produced by J.J. Abrams, and then he like didn't even want to be attached to that. Like the movie's just gross. The movie's gross.
It is gross.
Cool.
Yeah. But
There is
it's awesome.
a large flaccid penis in it, right?
Yes.
Swing
but
around.
Why didn't you say so? I'm in.
that's not the joke of it. The joke of it is that it's a homeless person's penis.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just like a homeless joke. You know?
He's fucking packing.
You're right. You're right.
Tell us more.
No, that's all I
Like,
remember.
does he have a cock?
Hey, that's well. No,
think-
wasn't there a scene where they was it like a racist thing that they were doing?
Oh, when they're like,
Oh,
him and the girlfriend are like doing Dance Revolution or the other dance
Yeah.
game, the newer one,
Just
and the
Dance.
family is
Yeah.
like, oh, this must be how black people dance.
Yikes.
And it was just like, I don't get that, John. I don't even get it. I don't understand.
I think we paused the movie at that
Yeah,
point.
we
We were
were
like, "What did he just say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a choice? Was that improv? Did they just run with it, or did they like?
Because that
write
sure seemed
down?
like a close-up of the mother just for that line.
Yeah. That I think the best description of that movie is like watchable cringe, because you can sit through the whole thing and watch it, but it is still like you can feel it down under, like how
Down under.
I want to see the script. I want to see how these things are written.
Yeah.
Well, I think even like the actors, some of them have been like, I didn't like doing it. It was uncomfortable. The whole movie, like
You
there
can
was
tell
people
in their
that-
acting too. Like
Oh,
there
yeah.
are some times, like Mike said, where it's like cringy because you can tell that a line that is supposed to be delivered with confidence is delivered with uncomfortableness.
Yeah,
like
apprehension.
Yeah, like just like why am I saying
Yeah.
this? I'm just gonna say it, get it out there for the paycheck. But
Yikes.
and that's adds so much, like another level of cringe to a lot of the lines, because you could tell that nobody is agreeing with what is being said in the moment.
Yeah,
yeah,
But,
it's
uh,
bad, but funny.
but it's awesome.
Is that one that you guys don't want to rewatch?
I would
I'd rewatch it.
What did we put down?
What
for
did
the
it-
Yeah, I want to
What
see
was
what
the
had
number?
happened at the time. Do we have the individual? Or we just
we don't have. We just had our total scores.
What was the total score for Country Bears? You got to give the number.
16 and change?
He's got it.
Yeah, so I gave it a 15. Mike and Jason gave it 16s, so averaged out to 15 and a 2/3.
So then, what is not cool?
Not Cool is a solid 15. I think all three of us. No, Sean was there for Not Cool.
I'm surprised we have specifically Sean.
Oh.
I thought it was like guest 1, guest 2. I
No,
didn't know.
Sean's on here.
Ah,
I gave it a 14. You gave it a 16, and Mike gave it a 15. So
18's the highest. So yeah, I mean,
15 solid.
I could see being one of the kinds of movies that got a 2 in that last rating.
Yeah.
Because it's not like there really isn't much to say about like the camera, the editing, stuff like that. It looks like a very professional movie.
Performances are just off.
Performances are off, and it's one of those times you really get the sense it's no fault of the actors. You're just like, oh, this was a hostage situation, was it not?
Yeah. So that was a solid 15. And the next one is one that I believe that when we first watched it, we rated it a lot lower.
Body Rock?
Body Rock.
Yeah, it's Body Rock.
I've never even heard of it. Is that an LMFAO song?
Yeah, sorry for body rocking. They're just body rocking while also spray painting.
Okay.
And so the whole thing is that they're artists who do spray painting, but then also there's a group of them that do like hardcore, like
Not
even
hardcore.
they compete though.
Yeah.
Like they compete in like dancing, body rocking,
But like
whatever,
at
what
clubs,
kind of dance? Yeah.
It's like
Underground dance competition.
it's underground dance competitions, and it's not even like Step Up. It's way worse than that because
I haven't seen Step Up, but I'll take your word for it.
But like with Step Up, it was like they were teams and they were competing, and like there was a competition. This was like kind of like a celebrity thing where it was like they'd all watch someone dance and be like, "Oh, he's really good." This is our entertainment, not the music around us.
Yeah.
This guy would show up to the club.
You don't know who's going to be there.
Yeah, and they would be like, "Oh, we're gonna go to this place tonight because this person is dancing."
Yeah.
Like that's what it was about.
It's kind of cool.
And the whole
I
thing
wanna
was
live in
like
that
the
world.
main character wanted to be taken seriously as a
Artist?
and then goes to
shrugs.
pitch himself to a businessman as a, and they're like, do you have any talent? And then he's like, ooh, you know what I better do? I have some people that know how to dance. I better learn how to dance. So I have a sellable art like thing. And he goes to the young kid that he's I think the most acquainted with. He's like, teach me how to dance. Teach me how to Dougie.
Teach me how to Dougie.
And then he learns how to dance. Then at some
He
point,
stole black culture.
he sure did.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like all black people that he's still, and then he's the white guy.
And he was just like, show me how to dance and I'm going to profit. from
Yes.
Yeah.
This
Tale
thing
is
you
all
guys
just
do that's
time.
super cool and is like just an underground thing. I'm going to mainstream it and it's mine now.
Yeah.
And then he gets like kicked out of the club. But then at the end of the movie, he like sneaks into the club in the rafters, jumps down from the rafters, and they're like, well, that was cool. Let him dance.
And it is just fun to watch.
Yeah, it's great.
And
Yeah.
I think, like you said, anytime it gets boring or it gets muddy, something happens. Like, it's this constant up and down of like, oh, there's something really ridiculous and funny, and then like, oh, okay, this is like kind of boring, and then something ridiculous. Like, doesn't he go and try to get like a different job or something? And he's like, they're like, what do you do?
Yeah, like
And
temp
he's-
stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and
he
he's
does
like,
try to like,
he's like, I dance.
yeah, and they're like, this is not going to help you with this,
Yeah,
this
they're like,
office job.
yeah, they're like, excuse me, do you have any experience? And he's like,
A dance.
all right, next.
Hang on one second. I just want to make sure that everything's still rolling and stuff. That one's good.
You know what was rolling? The conversation.
Jesus Christ.
So the
I
next
can't
one,
work like this.
The next one, John, you can participate in.
Fine.
Troll 2.
Oh, Nilbog is goblin spelled backwards.
What's the average rating of that?
So I gave it a 12, you gave it a 12, and Mike gave it a 16.
Okay,
Oh,
it had
and-
to be for the corn.
And
right?
Sean gave it a
Corn
15.
and wasn't that eggs?
Eggs.
My opinion of Troll 2 is that it is intended to be a comedy, but apparently there's like a making of that shows that it's very much not supposed to be a comedy.
Right.
Which I have not seen.
I think there are supposed to be bits that are comedic in the way that there are comedic bits in Friday the 13th movies, things like
Yeah.
that, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, add a little bit of comedy here before the murder happens, whatever. So, like, I do think there is supposed to be some levity to that, like, popcorn scene.
Yes, that's the scene where I'm like, there's no
But I don't think
way.
it's supposed to be as ridiculous. Because if that movie was a legitimately good horror movie and also had that popcorn scene in it, there would probably be a little bit of creepiness to that popcorn scene.
Let's
Yeah.
say what the popcorn scene is.
I'm kind of avoiding saying it because I don't remember it fully. Mike, would you want to take that up? Because that really hit you. It really impacted you.
It really changed you as a person.
Weren't they in like a trailer?
They're in
They're in a trailer, and the guy gets lured out into the trailer. And from what I remember, is the whole fucking thing fills up with popcorn. I was rooting for a sex scene the entire movie.
Right, a girl is like, I don't know what she really is, right? Because she's not
Like a witch or something.
Yeah,
the witch.
Does she show tits? I can't remember.
No,
but she like shows.
no.
She like
the whole thing is done.
doesn't she like lift up her thing, and that's where she has like a corn cob, and she like has corn cob. She like tries to feed you sexually, and then it starts to pop and becomes popcorn. Remember, and like the whole thing fills up with popcorn.
Yes.
Yeah,
But it
something
starts with
like
like eating corn sexually.
So you're saying Mike got blue balled?
That's what really.
Why do you think I'm so frustrated over here?
I haven't really touched myself since.
or eating corn.
Oh yeah.
I was like, the whole movie, I'm like waiting for it to happen. The bad sex scene. I was like, it's
yeah.
coming. It's coming. And then we get corn.
No one was
That was
coming
great.
after that.
No one was coming.
That's great.
But yeah, that whole movie is a trip, man.
It is.
Yeah.
It's about
And the
them
fact
going on a
that
road
it's
trip.
It's
Yeah.
It's a
Yes.
sequel.
It's not.
I know, that's why I said
Wait,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to think of what I would have rated, because I had a lot of fun with that movie watching it. I
think
could
that
not
there's a
have
lot
not.
of downtime.
Maybe.
There is a
dark-
bunch of downtime, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it's a ton. It's
So
just,
that's one maybe I remember more fondly than the experience at the time was like maybe like a 6 or a 7.
I think the enjoyability might have been there, but I don't know if you really wanted to watch it again.
Rewatchability.
Doesn't the dad like take off his belt at a moment's notice and like hit the kids?
Yes, he does.
Oh, that's right. That
That's
scene
the-
where the kids, and then he's like, "No, please
There's
don't."
multiple
Like,
scenes where the
Isn't
dad
that
just
the beginning?
gets.
Yeah.
There's one in the beginning and one when they get to the cabin or whatever where they're going to. Just like at any sign of the kids like disagreeing with the parents or whatever, immediately takes off his belt in like a comical way. I think there's like a long scene of him taking it out, and it's like
it's the way that it plays for sure. Felt like he was gonna.
that's getting cut from the podcast.
Leave that in.
the Mike part. We're gonna cut that.
We didn't say that.
Oh, darn.
Well,
Yeah, we're gonna cut all that.
Yeah. That's fair.
so the next one, I gave
Jesus.
it a much not a much lower score, but it was definitely lower than you.
Wait,
Is
what
this
was
your
what
first
was
year
Troll
drop?
2's score?
Oh, ultimately, yeah.
Ultimately,
Ultimate Troll 2 score.
so 12, 12,
Oh, we
16,
never-
15, 13 and 3/4.
13 and 3/4. Just
Okay.
my
Platform and 9 and
I
go out.
I probably would
This is
rate
what
it
happens when you
I-
break them in.
I didn't say anything. Just to let you guys know.
I probably would have rated it higher if I was part of that one. Because I really enjoyed
Yeah,
Troll.
maybe that needs to have a full-fledged rewatch,
Maybe, yeah.
and we can include your rewatch score and our rewatch score is the ultimate new
What did I
score
give
list.
Troll 2 on rewatchability?
We don't keep
You
keep
gave it a
the
16.
Oh, you don't give
individuals
the
of
fu-
each other. We would do it ourselves and then give everybody the
I was going to say, I need to know what I get.
Yeah, I'm doing a spreadsheet on my phone. It's not like the easiest
spreadsheets
thing.
on the phone fucking suck.
Amateurs. You should see some of the spreadsheets I have on my phone.
So the next one is
I really like spreadsheets.
On your phone.
I use them on my phone too.
absolutely a what the fuck were they thinking movie when they decided to make it. And I think that overall,
I think I actually know.
that's the whole point of why we put on this list, is because when you just take a step back, I mean, there's a lot of scenes
movie magic.
that while you're watching it that's the only thought you can have while you're watching this movie is, what were they thinking?
What is it? Is it where the wild things are?
No. It
get
What
is.
were they?
It
thinking?
has a very
And you put it lower than the rest of us.
a very famous and good actor in it.
Tiptoes.
Tiptoes.
I've never even heard of this.
No, yes, you have. And
Is
you'll-
Nicolas Cage in it?
No, you'll
Gary
remember the
Oldman.
moment I talk about that.
And
Gary
McConaughey's
Oldman,
in it
that's
too.
right.
And Matthew McConaughey.
And
Gary
it's
tell me
the
about it.
enormous schlong.
That's right.
Yep.
He does go full frontal for a second.
Does
Yep.
he?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
It's
it's
remember
not like
that
sexual
finish.
either. He just gets out of the bed, walks over there.
And it's just like,
Yeah. And he's sweeping the floor. But no,
he's like, all right.
so Matthew McConaughey is getting married to, and I forget who plays the girl.
Was it Jennifer Garner? No.
No, but it's someone we should know, but not someone that I think.
He's a fireman, right?
Yeah, he's a fireman. He's getting engaged, and he's nervous to introduce her to his family for the first time because he comes from a family of little people, and he's the only like regular height person. And he clearly, like, he does a lot of charity and like does a lot of like he has a kindness in his heart and a softness for
Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale. Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He has like a kindness in his heart and for his family and really does care, but deep down he is embarrassed of them, and that's why he was kind of embarrassed to have her meet his family, and she's more accepting. Like, other than like maybe the first scene, she becomes more accepting of that family than he ever was. But I'm leading up to the fact that his brother is played by Gary Oldman.
I don't know if you know this, John. Gary Oldman, not a little person.
Yeah.
But he sure definitely has his regular-sized legs inside of a couch while his shoes are just dangling from the couch. I can't believe like that would never pass. He would have lost his fucking career in an instant.
It's like blackfacing little people.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
And the other thing that's weird about it is they have a lot of famous little people actors.
Yeah.
Peter
So they-
Dinklage is in it.
Yes.
Peter Dinklage is in it. There's another guy, Ed Gale. Like, there's
And I believe
a bunch of...
we watched an interview of Peter Dinklage being like, there was a different understanding of what the movie was going to be about when I was in it versus what the final product
Oh,
was.
go
something
figure.
Like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, to cast all these little people, but then not for the main little person, you're like, nah, we're going to go with a real actor for that one.
And they
messed up.
There are scenes where you can clearly see that it's him on his knees.
Yeah, you're just like,
With
what
shoes
is
underneath.
happening?
His fucking...
Like, and the proportions just are way off.
Yeah,
He's got
because-
like regular, like long arms,
Long arms and tiny legs.
and like a too big of a torso, and
Stupid.
like Jason said, there are scenes where they just like in the couch, like they have him like behind the couch,
Yeah,
coming
you're
up
just
like
like,
this,
what?
and then they have like fake legs here,
Yeah.
and so
So
It's like, did you feel good about it while you were making it?
Yeah.
Or you're just like, I'm gonna get an Oscar.
you showed us like a preview for it before even watching the movie,
Yeah, someone
And they
talking
were-
about like how crazy the idea was.
and you were the preview showed like they were going for Oscars for this thing. They were
Oh,
trying
yeah.
for it.
That was Oscar bait, the movie.
Oh my god!
Yes. And I'm so glad it's high up on that list because it is a riot. It is
and
a riot.
you'd
is
agree,
funny
like
as fuck.
there's nothing else that's really there other than just like, what the fuck were you doing? Like, that's all you can think. Like, anytime, none of the scenes are particularly. The only funny bit about it is that there is a grown man trying to play a little person.
And that they're trying to play it so serious and so genuine and get like the emotions going. You're like,
But then they got floppy fucking legs that, like, maybe an ankle's like turned the wrong way.
That's so
you're
weird.
like, that's Sirius Black. Like,
I remember the ending is super weird.
Yeah,
It
'cause-
ends
yeah, 'cause-
on like a complete train wreck, and I don't
Doesn't
remember what
it
it
has
is.
something to do with like Kate Beckinsale's character, like you said, becoming more sympathetic and then like almost
she
falling in
chooses
love.
him, I think. She
I
ends
think
up
she
with him.
leaves
She leaves.
McConaughey for
Gary Oldman.
for Gary Oldman.
Yeah, and they're like on a ranch off by themselves, and they have kids at the end or something like that. Unless I'm
Something
just thinking of my fanfiction.
My fanfic with Kate Beckinsale ends with us at a ranch having kids.
And Gary Oldman is there.
He's weird. He's a little person in my fanfic as well.
Yeah. But yeah, very good movie.
There's like a.
I wonder what we did for the final rating, the 1 through 3, because of like everything else wise. It's like, oh, that looks like an Oscar movie, but then you have the glaringly that you're trying to pass.
We
this
must
off.
have given it like a 2.
That's might have been one of those rare 2s again.
Yeah.
We're coming out with a lot of 2s. Maybe it's not so rare.
It's just funny. I'm looking at this list and
That is funny.
hold on, I didn't finish.
Oh, sorry.
All right, next movie.
There's like 3 in a row where I gave it a 12 and you two like boosted the score all the way up to the top.
Wow.
And that is Troll 2, Tiptoes, and then this one, which you guys were really into, and I was kind of half falling asleep. Well, okay, that's going to make you think Haunted Mansion. But it was a different time when I was like half falling asleep because this movie is so long. And it's just...
The Hobbit?
No.
No.
It's so long, and I don't necessarily remember what it was about, and there's only one thing that I remember that makes
You know what
me
you're
laugh.
talking? What you think you're talking about?
I know it's coming up. I don't know.
It's
if
more.
this is
It's one of the more recent films that we watched.
it. What is it?
The Snowman.
The Snowman.
Oh my god! I remember why. Snowman.
That's
That's fantastic.
One of my favorites on that entire
I'm surprised
list.
how few of these movies I've even heard of.
Well, the Snowman. That is surprising because the Snowman
Another
came
Oscar
out
bait.
like it was trying to be an Oscar baity thing. It was like a thriller detective thing of like someone is killing people. Well,
Yeah.
we got to figure out what
In a
who's
town
doing
in
it.
With
Sweden?
icicles? That there's no murder weapon because it melted?
No, it's like
That's awesome.
wherever. Wasn't it like something to do with like people kept dying and there was always like a snowman out front?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that was like the calling card or something.
Yeah.
But like
So somebody commits a murder and then takes the time to meticulously roll a bunch of... It's like, we're never going to find who did it. Ask the neighbors. A stranger was out there for 4 hours.
knocked on our door, asked for a carrot.
But here's the other thing, John, is like maybe he was just killing people who had snowmen out in front of their house.
Oh.
Which I
Okay,
think
so
might
it's
have
like a
been the thing,
mystery.
right?
Maybe.
I don't think the snowmen were like.
That's something
This
I
dude
need.
just hates people who make snowmen.
Yeah. I just know it's a detective thriller, and right off
Michael
the bat,
Fassbender is
Michael Fassbender's the main guy. Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite?
Val fucking Kilmer.
Val Kilmer is in this.
Do you remember what the main character's name is?
Oh, I know. I do remember being.
I
really
just read
stupid.
it.
Wait, no. Hold on. Harry Hole.
What?
It says Detective Harry Hole investigates.
Harry Hole? They named him Harry Hole.
Yeah. The disappearance of a woman whose scarf is found wrapped around an ominous-looking snowman.
Oh my god. The Val Kilmer though. That's
Yeah, Val Kilmer plays like a retired. Not. I guess he's not retired, but he's like close to retirement cop.
Yeah.
And for some reason, his character choice was that his gums are stuck to his teeth. He's like,
So good.
every time he opened his mouth, Mike couldn't stop fucking dying.
Just after Botox. It was so good.
Yeah, this has
So
got
good.
like Toby Jones,
His
Val
face is
Kilmer.
stuck
Well, did he?
to his
Had he like
skeleton.
actually had Botox or something? Is that why?
I think so.
Oh, so we're just
It's gotta
making fun
be.
of. Well, he did that. He elected for it.
Yeah, it's elective surgery. It's
Making fun of his disability of getting Botox.
But like if you watch him in the movie, he looks like he just got it and he can't move his fucking face
Yeah.
at all. No expression whatsoever.
And he's got all these like
trying to kill her somewhere else.
he's got all these scenes that are just supposed to be super expressive and angry. He's supposed to be
Yeah,
this
he's-
grizzled old guy.
Yeah.
He's just like
And I remember the thing that sticks in my head the most about that movie is that the first 10 seconds of the movie caught us super off guard because it like starts with, I don't know the specifics, I just remember it starts with one shot that's like a long outside shot, and then it just does like a series of weird cuts and we're just like, whoa! We're just like, where are we? And it turns out we're still like where we were, but like it was just poorly edited in a way where we were just like got so disoriented.
it's like if you were standing at the top of the stairs and you were looking at something and someone just went boom, and then you, every once in a while you catch a glimpse of what you were looking at, and it's just do 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 do.
Then when you get it down, you're like, oh, I'm where I thought I'd be.
It was like a cabin, right? And then like there was
Yeah.
like big
Yeah.
cut from him like moving these big oil canisters and stuff.
Yeah, it was like a cut to like that, like the
But like it
mother
was
and the
weird.
kid inside.
It was like he would like pick something up and then it would be down. right? Like it was like weird cuts where
I don't remember.
They show
let him finish
quick
the
clip
movement.
of gun, quick clip of kid. Somebody's coming into house. Gunshot.
Yeah, it
Next
was
scene.
very,
What?
It starts with a bang, though.
it
yeah,
does.
yeah, that was why I was on for the ride
And
immediately.
then it's slow. Well, it slows so much. It's a slow burn.
Yeah,
for
the
all this
pacing.
long time.
But that's the thing is, even the slow burn is hilarious to me because, like, there's a part where there's two people trying to talk to each other, and there's like a window between them, and they're just not talking. They're just like, and Mike just goes, "Just talk." They can probably hear you. It's not like a bulletproof window, right? And it's so slow because it's just like this quiet scene where, like, why? It's very.
There's
great.
the big chase at the end, right? Like there's the big action scene. I know there's like
I don't
somebody
remember that.
falls in the ice or something at the end.
That is
But the last
escaping me
like
completely.
30 minutes is like an actual like action film.
Yeah.
Thing.
I remember that, and I told myself I would have paid like my life savings to watch Val Kilmer with his fucking frozen ass trying to do all that. Oh my god!
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
he's got it away. So the next one on this list is kind of the opposite of what I was just saying, where I gave it so much of a higher score than both of you two.
Yeah, I can guess what that one is, right? If I'm thinking it's the movie that we don't like,
Which one?
No, that's
it's
down
not
more.
Okay.
It's got to be.
It's
There's
The
no way.
Amazing Bulk.
Oh,
You
Amazing
hated
Bulk.
that. I think
That's what
the
I kept
lowest
calling the
score.
Blob.
I think I might have shown you a scene from this movie at one point. The Amazing Bulk is a Hulk, Incredible Hulk, like
Parody.
parody.
Yeah,
We found it on Amazon. It's a purple guy.
Yeah.
It's so strange, and the last
It's a tough ask for a parody.
truly last 20 minutes is just the Amazing Bulk just running, and the what's the music? The music's like the music's something you would know. It's like almost like too patriotic or something.
Oh, yeah,
and it's
yeah.
just a bunch of like 3D rendered.
Missiles and stuff going off, right?
Not even because there's like missiles and helicopters, all from probably like a animation pack that came out of software. But then it's like a gecko using a computer, just like all the different effects that they had at their disposal. This guy riding a rocket, it's so weird.
You gave that a better score than both of us?
Yeah, I gave it a 15, you gave it a 13, you gave it a 10. And I think I know part of the reasons why Jason gave it a 10. I think overall, it wasn't like I think you thought like this was meant to be bad.
Yeah,
Like
it took time. It took points off because I was like, they were trying to make a bad movie.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. Because it's not, that ending is, they made it in the same way we would have made that same thing.
Right.
You know, like they knew what they were doing.
I think that there's an interesting conversation to be had about whether or not that counts.
If you're trying.
Yeah, because I've seen a really good bad movie that was made on purpose, which is Feeding Frenzy from
the
Red Letter Media.
one.
That's a great movie, like in terms of a bad movie. It plays exactly like any other classic Troll 2 or Teeth or The Room or whatever.
I
Like
think
any
we
of those
try to
movies.
stay away from self-aware movies.
Yeah.
On this,
And that's why, like, usually when they show up, like, we commit them to being on the list before we watch them because it's about like knowing that they're if like that movie we might not have, if we knew more about it we might not have put on the list, and that's why it's lower on the list, because it was still fun, had the same spirit of having fun and making fun of certain things, and there was part of it that we were making fun of genuinely is we felt as though they were trying to push a message of agenda of like something anti-superhero movie, but it also had something very political, and it just felt off base. Not like we would even disagree with it, but it was just felt off base, and so we were making fun of the parts where you could tell they were...
They leaned into it too hard.
Yeah, they're like, we're doing this wacky movie, but also we've got a point. It's like, I think you might not even have the point.
The next one, I didn't give it that high of a score.
Surprised I gave it a high score. I looked.
John was
I cheated
there.
the system.
Did he put a score in there?
The new Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Does John
Pino-
have a score in there as a guest?
Oh, yeah.
You did have... You did.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, John was there.
Yeah. He gave
Unless
it
you didn't write it down. I gave you
No,
numbers.
you gave it a 12. I gave it an 11. Jason gave it a 14, and Mike gave it a 13.
I'm surprised I gave it a 12.
I know, that's why I gave it an
Things
11.
change.
But you know,
Wait, okay, let's
don't know if
clarify
that's-
which Pinocchio this is. Pinocchio.
This is the Italian
Russian.
made.
No, but wasn't it like
Russian, it is Russian.
It's called like The True Story or something, right?
You're
Something
right.
like that. Yeah,
It is like
Pinocchio,
the true
story.
Dubbed by Pauly Shore.
Yeah, that one. You guys know it.
SpongeBob SquarePants and
SpongeBob SquarePants, not Tom Kenny.
yeah.
So yeah, I'll get. Everyone most likely knows this because it was such a big meme for a while. Like it really became
In the TikTok
a big
era.
thing in the TikTok era, but also like any YouTuber that has ever talked about movies even a little, and I'm talking things like Danny Gonzalez, people like that who aren't like movie reviewers, but their commentary channels did a video about it, and it's as bad as it seemed. It's, or at least like who knows, the dub was.
Well, explain what it was.
Because it's a Russian-made movie about the retelling of Pinocchio's true story, but then it's an American dub.
Yeah, an animated film.
There's like a cat with a gun.
And that's it.
They took a lot of creative liberties with the story of Pinocchio.
Yeah, and
and then deemed it to be the true one.
it really is one of the weirder examples of being able to feel like they weren't trying to write real lines when translating. They were just truly trying to match like mouth flaps.
Yeah.
Because like the way they try to draw outlines and stuff just to get them to fit the thing, and it really doesn't even.
Right. Yeah, it's very, very poorly dubbed, but then you could tell that they were trying to dub it well, and it's just a mess.
Yeah.
And then I think on top of it is the casting is very bizarre.
It has such a crazy, it has a good cast.
I know, but it's not.
And Pauly Shore.
There was no reason for them to cast any of those.
What do you mean
people.
by good cast though? Because I only remember
Notable
Pauly
people.
Shore and
Like-
who else? I don't remember anybody else.
Well,
John
SpongeBob.
Heater's not a bad
Oh, you're
actor.
right.
And Tom Kenny?
And Tom Kenny's a legend.
That's what I mean is like John. I forgot about Tom
SpongeBob.
Kenny, but I was like John Heater and Pauly Shore were the only.
And I
two
like
people.
Pauly Shore. I do like Pauly Shore.
I don't even think I've ever seen him in anything else.
He plays himself in Futurama, and it's great.
that's
So I know that he can voice act, too.
Yeah.
But he's playing himself, so I don't know if that counts.
Clipping that. He said he liked Pauly Shore.
Here's the other thing. Thinking back on this movie, you can't even tell that Pinocchio is a wooden boy.
No.
You could really
Yeah.
just call that movie anything else. And
Yeah, because
it would
they-
make sense.
He becomes a real boy halfway through still, right? Doesn't he?
Well, I
does
think
he
at
not?
the end.
At the end.
Okay, yeah, because there's not like a big difference, is there?
But like his goal is not to become a real boy.
You're right. He wants to go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Why is it Pinocchio?
Okay, Pinocchio.
Very weird.
So one clown says something, and then another clown says something.
but the real
clown here
is you. Because you listen to him.
Okay, next one
Classic.
we saw in theaters. We never saw it outside of theaters.
Tusk.
Nope.
What? Oh, Cats.
Cats.
Okay.
Cats was the movie that I thought I
we
was.
saw him with the buttholes, right?
Oh yeah. Buttholes, human hands, Judi Dench's wedding ring on it. We saw warts and all.
Okay, you gotta explain this to me, because you told me briefly about it, but...
So,
The movie or the situation in which we saw the movie?
Well, this
situation.
butthole ring thing.
oh well, they had like a. I don't know if the situation is perfectly this way, but it seems as though they had like a release date for the movie. They weren't all the way done editing it by that time, and so they released the cut they had in theaters, and they hadn't removed certain small details like the human hands, so you could see like wedding rings or anything like that on.
How did they do the hand? How are they supposed to? Was it supposed to be like paws?
Yeah,
well,
more furry and stuff like that. Like the way like they're all proportioned to be humans but cat-like. They just hadn't put like the cat effect on it, and then they had added cat buttholes, and then they took that out.
Oh, okay.
During the new edit where they did the final stuff, but
They
then they
decided
were also
that cat buttholes is not a good selling point.
yeah, weird. I don't know why, but I was sure that was destined to be the last movie I was ever going to see in theaters, because that was the last movie I saw before the pandemic hit,
Oh, yeah.
and then it was
a real
years.
rub tum tugger.
So glad I wasn't
God.
sober for that thing.
Oh.
So
yeah.
Mike got absolutely sloshed. Like
Yeah.
drank two. Like you remember what movie did you? Just the three of us went.
That was the Spider-Man, or the Doctor Strange into
Yes.
the multiverse.
and you were like, "This is the drink I get all the time," and you were like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, that's huge," or whatever. And,
I was like, give me one.
yeah, and he had like 2.5 before we even went into theater.
Whatever that drink is, it's like a melted cherry icy with vodka.
It's like
It's
those
a
ices
sugar-
they give you at the movies.
Yeah,
but
it's
they're like,
sugar and vodka. What is
It's
it?
so good. It's called the Spider-Man.
It's called the Spider-Man.
I want pictures of Spider-Man.
Pictures. Spider-Man.
Right.
But like that night for Cats, I drank. It had to be like 3 Long Islands plus. I don't know if we had those out yet because it was
I
in 20.
feel like you, unless that was maybe not.
I don't think I drank at all because I was like, I want to be sober.
Oh, me neither.
Yeah, you two didn't drink. I was the only one who drank because I kind of knew what we were walking
And you know
into.
what? I gave it a 15, 13, 9.
Mike gave it a 9.
Mike was on the floor for most of it.
Yeah,
So you liked it more because
I was screaming at the
like you thought it was a better movie because you were drunk.
I think I thought it was a worse movie because
Yeah,
You gave it a worse score.
No, his drunkenness. If he wasn't drunk, it would have been lower than a 9.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fascinating.
Because like that was his.
We wouldn't even have gotten him in the theater.
Remember that most of that score is just enjoyability.
Right.
So a 9 is what he got out of the ultimate score of Cats, which I'm assuming. I don't know if you gave it a. I don't even know what we gave the 1, 2, 3 score.
Yeah, I don't know either because I think we probably gave it a 2 because we were like, it's just not there yet because they.
Yeah, it's clear that this isn't the finished product.
Everyone knew at that point that the movie was not finished.
Yeah, and we felt bad at first because we went in with only one other group. So it was just 2 groups in the theater the entire time.
Oh,
It was
wow.
just the 3 of us, and then 4 rows behind us were another 3, and it was clearly like a mom, a dad, and their daughter.
Oh.
And not like a young
I thought
daughter.
it was a boyfriend girlfriend.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a mom, a dad, and a daughter that was probably like in high school.
It was a thruple.
Oh, I kind of feel bad now because I
No,
was.
they
between
were
the mom
laughing
and-
their asses off too.
Okay,
Like halfway
good.
through, I
Okay,
realized
good.
that they were there the same reason we were there.
I hate watching.
And you were like literally like laying between our legs on the floor, like, what are we doing? And
You got onto a movie theater floor.
that's
Yeah.
how drunk he
Wow.
was. Yeah.
Wow.
And you did perk up when the rail cat came, though. I
Yeah,
feel
the
like.
real cat.
Which is, I think, we've talked about. Steph has said it's
Yeah.
definitely going to be your favorite cat.
Yeah, if I ever watch the
When?
show, any version of Cats, that I'm gonna like the train one.
Yeah.
Well, just remember,
There's a train.
no, a cat. It's not a dog.
Oh, okay.
God.
It's true. Because Judi Dench looks right in the camera and tells you that.
Oh,
I
good.
do
Right at the
remember
end.
a lot of screaming at the movie screen. I do remember yelling at
I
it
don't
a couple
think.
times.
I think you
That was all
weren't
in your
as
head.
intrusive. Yeah. I don't think you were that intrusive compared to maybe what you thought you were. You're probably just internally screaming.
But like,
Yeah.
who's it? Taylor Swift's in it.
James Corden.
who is
James
in it?
Corden.
Jason Derulo.
I wasn't in it.
Jason
Oh.
Derulo is in it.
Yeah,
Jason
he's the,
Derulo. Who
He
he
does
play?
his own bit.
He
He's-
plays. Is it Rum Tum Tugger?
He might be Rum Tum Tugger.
Who's the one that's like the sexy cat?
I don't know.
That was.
They're all
I thought
pretty
that was
sexy
him.
to me.
They all had
Yeah,
buttholes.
that's what I mean. The name. I mean.
Oh, I have
Jason.
no idea.
he
What are the
plays
cats again? They're
Jellicle cats?
Jellicle cats.
Oh, those, yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's
What's
Ian
her name?
McKellen's in
That
it.
Rebel-
played
Rebel Wilson's
Rebel
in it.
Wilson.
Oh, that's Sir Ian McKellen.
not anymore. Not after that. He got his name
Judi
revoked.
Dench.
Dame Judi Dench is in it.
Fucking Idris Elba is in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the villain. That's right. Remember when he kidnapped some of the cats and chains them up on a boat in the
No.
middle of the ocean?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I
Yeah.
don't.
They like teleport there, right?
Yeah, he'll get them, snatch them, and they'll teleport. And then there's a point where they're like tied up in the boat, and I guess that's what they thought plot was because it's not like anything else happens.
Yeah.
It's just like now we're tied up on a boat,
Yeah.
I don't.
I kind of
remember.
done talking about cats.
and I'm James Corden.
I was done with Cats before we even saw the movie.
All right.
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah,
We talked about this already.
We talked about this
Yeah,
one.
that was just,
fucking Ramsley.
What was
That-
the rating?
I gave it a 9. Jason gave it a 13, and Mike gave it a 13, and then Sean gave it a 12.
That is a movie. Haunted Mansion is a movie that I have seen.
Yeah.
do you
And
remember it?
I didn't care for it. Somebody showed it to me in earnest, being like, "Oh, this is a great movie. You gotta watch it."
Well,
But
if
it's
you
like,
watch it again,
they loved it from their childhood, and I was like, "Okay,
Yeah, it's definitely
Kinda
can be a
goofy.
movie like that for people.
Yeah.
Like
Country Bears."
Not on the same level.
I think that Haunted Mansion was interesting to put on the list because they took Eddie Murphy and they decided to give this really kind of there's a pretty interesting story there that then is just kind of muddled with comedy.
Well, it's so funny because you have instances where they decided to take a Disney ride or attraction and make it into a movie. And then you have instances where you have a comedian has a very famous bit. Let's make that bit either the show or the movie. They did both of those things. Because Eddie Murphy, one of his biggest stand-up bits of all time is a black person in a haunted house. And how it'll be like, get out. Let's get out of here. And like white people will be like, no, let's stay. You know, and like that became such a very famous bit.
Yeah.
So it's like it was kismet to bring him into the Disney haunted movie. Mm-hmm. And the movie is for kids. So like that's why it doesn't hold up to like our standards. It's just for kids. That's all. But other than that, it's a good kids movie.
Yeah, it's a good kids movie.
Can you see my phone from where you're at? Can you just check if it's recording?
Looks like it.
Okay, cool. It just says like play pause on the side.
Are you recording? Okay.
Good. Thanks, Mike.
The next one you guys are going to have to talk more about because I don't think I remember any of this. Smiley.
I've seen that one too.
You have?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
What is Smiley?
What?
Smiley was a YouTuber made.
Why?
Because I was very into YouTube when that came out, and it was a big deal. And I don't remember hating it, but I don't like horror movies. So that's not interesting to me at all anyway. Maybe. And I was just like, I'm in a movie theater and there's YouTubers on the screen. That was such a novelty at the time. I felt like
that is kind of cool.
I felt like the people who ran away from the train the first time they saw a movie in theaters. I was like, this is amazing!
Yeah, I guess like now, I wonder what you'd think of it first as a movie now, but just that concept now, it feels like tacky, right? Like,
it felt tacky at the time, but I was still like, okay, I hate that, but I'm enjoying it because I'm just happy for the YouTubers getting their, their big screen debut.
And what's it about, other than YouTubers in a horror film?
Do you want to explain it? Or do you
I don't remember enough
so
of it.
that movie was about a kind of like a
Looking back on it now, sorry to interrupt, but looking back on it now, it feels like a pandemic movie.
Yeah,
because they're on Zoom, they're on a video call the whole time.
You're right. The whole thing was about like a what would you call it?
It was like an urban legend that.
Yeah, but what do you call those urban legends online now?
Oh, a creepypasta.
Like a creepypasta, where it was like if you're on a video chat with somebody and you typed in 3 times, I did it for the lulz, I did it for the lulz, I did it for the lulz.
That's so cringy.
Then Smiley will come and kill them. And so they're all at a party, they see the person they're talking to get killed by Smiley, and they're like, classic bitch, no one really believes it's real. And then it like, as it goes, we do really believe it's real. But then there's a big fucking twist at the end where like...
Everybody's Smiley?
Not like that, but more in the sense of like more people knew what was going on than you thought, but then it's like... A lot of these scenes don't make as much sense now because, like, who are you performing for?
It's like an M. Night Shyamalan twist, but he doesn't do it either. They don't track it the whole time. They're just like, and twist! And it's like, well, wait, you weren't tracking that the whole time. And then it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Like a twist that feels undeserved.
Yeah, or even just doesn't line up. It's like,
yeah,
you twisted just to twist.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, if you knew that this was all fake or something, then who were you performing for in this scene where you were acting like you thought it was real? Because
like
no one else is in this room.
2 people who were in on it acting
it's
for
like,
each
who
other.
Who else is seeing this? You know, something like things like that.
I just remember the giant political talk right, like 3/4 into the movie, they go to the other guy's house and it just stops dead in its tracks to have this huge like terrorism discussion for maybe like close to 45 minutes.
You sure you didn't like open another tab? And watch it?
No, 45 minutes of a debate or something else.
I remember screaming at the TV when we were watching.
Are you sure then? Because I'm thinking of a very specific moment of you screaming at the TV, and I feel like it's when they go over to this guy's house and like, where is he? And they find him, and they're like, what have you been doing? And he's like, oh, I've been doing this, and they say something about his job, and they're like, oh, I do this, and they're like, what is that? And then he starts to explain what his job is.
Yeah, that's
and you
it.
go,
Okay.
who cares? You're in the middle of a horror movie. Why are you explaining what your job is? It's like, oh, I sell blah, 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 blah. You're like, what?
It's like somebody was making the movie, but it was really part of like a game show where they're like, all right, your next challenge is going to be you have to fit this sentence into a feature film.
Yes. When you get fed up with something and you yell, that is the funniest shit in the world.
I have to because nobody else is going to.
Otherwise, they can't hear me.
Yeah. But it gave that same vibe of like, do you remember when we were at Dan's cabin? And I think I've told you this story. We were at Dan's cabin and like,
I didn't know Dan had a cabin.
his family's cabin. They used to have a cabin, and a little bit away from the cabin is like a little bunk room where you.
It was a bunkhouse, yeah. So we had this log cabin, and then down the road, and even like more like
in the forest.
In the forest, there's like a garage. It's a 3-car garage or whatever for boats and stuff. But
Who cares?
But then on top of it, my uncles built a bunkhouse.
Okay.
So we had
we decided to spend the night in the bunkhouse, and we were going to try to beat a Pokemon game.
That was Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, but we were also in our heads like, it's in the middle of nowhere. There's no lights out. It'll be kind of creepy. And we're in there, and we're trying to creep ourselves out, and nothing really creepy's happening. And then later, we're at a point where we're just getting too tired. We're probably going to go to bed. And then the lights in the place, the light up here starts to flicker like crazy. And we just all look up and stare at it. And then Mike gets up and goes, "Not tonight, ghosts." And we're like, yeah, we were all too tired to deal with ghosts. And so we just went to bed.
The ghosts were like waiting for their moment. They're like, ah, damn it.
We made them wait too long.
Yeah, we should have hit them earlier.
We missed their moment.
Yeah, like they're right at that spooky, sleepy spot. They missed it.
Speaking of turning off the lights, the next movie is Alone in the Dark.
Classic.
Do you remember Alone in the Dark? This is the one where we learned all of the...
That's that one.
The military's side characters.
That's right.
As they were dying.
Isn't it based off of a video game?
I believe so.
It's based off of an old video game. And I don't remember a lot about it other than they were shooting at aliens. And then, yeah, there's a scene. I don't
remember.
Who's
that actress that was in it?
Not Tara Strong. It's somebody else. Tara Reid.
Riley Reid?
More. Yeah.
No.
I remember when we watched that together.
I'm pretty sure it was Tara Reid. And
yeah.
That janitor had that like really weird obsession with her.
Oh, and she was like she worked at a museum.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then there was like this guy who...
There isn't a lot to talk about with that movie because I feel like that movie is so...
It's a B-list, D-list, maybe movie. But the end of it is what really got
Jessica
us.
B-list?
Biel, like Jessica Biel.
It's B-list?
B-list.
Don't BoJack me.
Don't BoJack me off.
Christian Slater and Tara Reid.
Yeah.
Christian Slater.
So... the ending, like the last half hour, is this battle with all these demons. And this is where I think the movie really stuck with us. Is we learned every single military man's or woman's name and backstory in the 4 seconds before they died.
I don't think I ever retained the names of the main characters. But then when a group of army people show up, we learn all their names real quick.
Yeah.
They did like a whole going through a situation thing, and they either like back and forth on the comms, and they're all using each other's
Johnson,
names.
are you here?
Yeah.
Alex? No, I'm not.
They made a point to show every person's name so that you would like know them, and then they would die like 5 seconds later.
Yeah.
No, Johnson!
Yeah, we cared so much about those guys. We learned so much. I remember feeling like I was ready for it to be over, and then that military scene hit, and I was like, I'm glad we kept watching.
Yeah, and then they died.
Okay, the next one is F the Prom.
Okay. F the Prom is the Fine Brothers movie.
Yeah.
They made a movie that is also kind of like Shane Dawson vibes. You know, they loved working with each other back in the day too. So it makes sense. They're same brand of humor.
I still get confused about who does what.
It always feels weird that those guys are writing these aggressively hypersexual jokes about teenagers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's their brand on YouTube, let alone then making a whole movie about frustrated, sexy teen stuff.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Sexy teens.
Go on.
Clip it!
No, but they're minors. No.
They work in a mine?
Yes.
They're sexy teens in a mine?
Yeah, it's a new calendar.
Gross.
It'll be called Sexy Minors. It'll sell a lot. Sell a lot.
We're playing a
we can
Sexy
do it.
Minors album.
The least we can do is profit off of those pedophiles.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they just got a stack of them.
They got me again every year. Every year.
You're cutting this, right?
No.
Some of this is kind of gold. But
Oh yeah, we don't want to spoil it for them.
yeah.
We need to make sure that they don't know.
They're not real minors.
Yeah.
They're minors.
So far,
I don't
that
know what you mean by that.
F the Prom might be the one on there that I remember the least about.
Yeah, what was the storyline?
It was about this
Prom and effing it.
this guy that like didn't want to go to the prom, and then I think this girl that his neighbor is like more popular, and for some reason
Yeah, I
she
do
gets into a
remember that.
situation where she decides she's not going to go to the prom either, but she normally would. And then they like make a pact. They're like, you know what? We're gonna like let those people, the popular crowd, let them know like prom's stupid. We're gonna fuck up the prom, make it bad. But and the whole time you're like, this feels like you might be planning on shooting up the prom. That's not what you're doing though, right?
Yikes.
It's all about popularity and then like how stupid the prom is or how meaningful the prom is. But it's not.
What were you
end,
saying before
Just F the prom.
that it kind of feels like the Fine Brothers are writing themselves in a fantasy scenario?
Yeah, you could tell that the Fine Bros were like me in high school, where we were maybe like not part of the popular crowd, kind of a loser,
Yeah.
and still holds that in their heart of being like, I was a loser in high school, woe is me. I'm gonna make a movie about fuck the popular people, they suck, and maybe I'll become popular in the process, you know?
It's a weird thing to do as a 40-year-old man.
It feels like that story's been told a lot with like high school reunions.
Yeah.
Like going back and trying to stick it to all those people that made fun of you in high school. It's like, I'm just not going to go to my high school reunion. I don't care.
Oh, no, I'm going to go.
It's because you were popular.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
more so than some, but I wouldn't say like part of that group. But I think on top of it, like I was telling Jason, it's just like a rite of passage for American pop culture. Like I can't not go.
It's in all the movies.
Yeah, it's like there's so many movies based off it. There's so many TV shows that have episodes about it, and I don't want to be that person who never knows what mine was like.
That's actually a good point. I'm going to go to somebody else's, though.
Okay,
That's a good idea.
Come to
I'll
ours.
go to dance.
It's this year,
Yeah.
right?
it is this year.
Okay, I'll go.
Go.
You bring him as your +1.
I'm not going.
No,
No.
but you can do that.
I'm going to go as Jason.
Oh my god! Yes! You would totally pull it off. People would fucking believe it. That's the problem.
Way too
Oh
tall.
my god!
No, but like,
No, they would just-
they'd be like, wow, 10 years.
I got a growth spurt after high school.
Holy shit. Especially if you show up with these two.
Oh my god! And we give them some inside stories. No, you don't have any inside stories that anyone can validate.
Oh, that's great then.
Yeah. That would be so goddamn funny.
Iconic. It would be
The only
awesome.
way that I would actually think about going, like I've thought about the allure of if I can get enough people on board like you guys to make a movie there. You know what I mean? Where it's like we
100%.
we like mic ourselves up and we have like
We should do it.
a plan.
Where I play you, and it's just a documentary.
Holy
We
shit!
just
Jason
do
goes
it.
to his class reunion and holy shit! Yes, yes. I'll be disguised as somebody
can't air
else.
this podcast before the reunion, though.
Just this part. Just this part.
fine.
Take out.
cut out.
Yeah. Cut out Patreon exclusive.
shit
Just
out,
not
boy.
exclusive.
All right, the next one is Mounchie Trouble.
Mounchie Trouble. That's pretty low on the list. Mounchie Trouble.
What?
Monkey Trouble.
It's got buried down by somebody in this group's review of it.
Yeah, it's probably me.
Yeah, it is you.
There was a time when it was like early on in making the list where we were like, oh, I guess we watch bad movies now. How do we find them? And so we were like just surfing through whatever you
Like
had
on demand or
on demand,
something.
looking through movies. And Mike had the remote at the time, and we were at the point I think we were just talking. And he was like, "Mounchie Trouble," and clicks on. We actually watched the trailer for it, and it's like
The monkeys
it's
past
yeah, it
catches
goes
up to him.
yeah, they're like, this girl and this monkey, she finds this monkey and now she's trying to sneak the monkey into the house. But then the monkey's past comes together and we're like, pause, we're watching this. I don't want to see any more of the trailer.
Monkey's past.
So,
Comes back to haunt him.
and it was a great movie.
Yeah, basically it's like some like thief uses this monkey to like go and steal stuff.
They like do like street performing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then while they're doing the magic, the monkey's like stealing from the audience.
And the monkey steals from like a mafia or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
No, actually, the mafia.
The mafia.
Not a mafia. It was not one with the offshoot branches. It was the big time.
And so then when the monkey goes to live with this little girl, the the mafia is like trying to get the monkey because it stole something from them.
Yeah.
But at some point, the monkey ends up with a gun. And at that point, we paused and we're like, "Whoa, the monkey's got a gun!"
Yeah, because
it was one of those like, "Who are you gonna shoot?" It was like, "It's a monkey. Who is he gonna shoot?" I don't know.
He doesn't know what that is, does he? But it's a great movie.
It's one of those kids films that's just like, there's some on here, a lot on here that are just kids films that were just like, you don't have to be so wacky to make it a kids film. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets too wacky, and you're almost like,
What is happening?
it's enjoyable as an adult because they're really going off the rails.
Read those ratings out for me, though. I want to hear this.
So Mike gave it a 12.
Mm-hmm.
Jason gave it a 12.
That's not that high.
And Dan gave it a 7.
That's low.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we probably all gave it a 1 on that final scale because it's a perfectly fine, well-made movie.
Yeah.
Next one, it's a Michael Keaton classic.
Oh, this is...
Batman?
No.
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
You have
Oh, I
seen
have
that.
seen that. Yeah.
When did you see that?
Which one is this? Is the horror movie or the family one?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the family one, but it was horrific. It is terrifying.
Yeah, he dies in a car accident before his kid's like hockey game or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then like a year later, he comes back from the dead.
It's not even like a
seen
day
that.
later. It's a year later. That's so weird.
It's like next Christmas.
That is the first movie I ever watched on DVD. My dad brought us home a Gateway computer with a DVD player. Went to Blockbuster and got Jack Frost, brought it home and watched it on the computer screen.
Whoa.
And there's like a scene where he's like dragging himself.
Yeah, he's not like fully made yet.
Yeah. No. He's like
Or is he melting?
he's melting, and he's like dragging himself along like concrete pavement, and so it's just like scraping the rest of the snow away. It's like you think about this as he's a human soul in a snowman. He's just like screaming in pain as he's dragging himself along the pavement.
Basically
That reminds
skinning
me-
himself.
Yeah.
That gives me an idea. I think a really good new topic for a podcast episode one time would be movies where human people are put into a body of something else. Because I don't know if those
That's
movies...
porn.
Yeah, but I don't know if those movies have ever gone over well before, but they keep doing it. Because remember when they just did that Kevin Spacey's turned into a cat movie?
I think so, yeah.
And we kept seeing a poster for it in Marcus Theater. Mm-hmm. And it was like the
Kevin
year...
Spacey's still getting work.
I think it was like the year before his controversy release, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where he just... And it's all live
They
action
put Tim
people.
Allen in a dog, didn't they?
Yeah, Shaggy Dog.
I don't remember that. The Shaggy Dog where it's like, woof, 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 conservative family values. Woof, woof.
That's just Home Improvement.
Conservative
After this next movie is where the list starts to go downhill into not enjoyable. Chameleon is the one that Sean brought to the table, and it was like
There's
rough.
some things I have a fond memory of, though. When the girl's like, "Oh, charmed, I'm sure," and the guy takes her hand and goes,
I forgot about that.
he does this little because he's an alien.
Close up to it.
Yeah, it's a close up of. There's like an alien that takes over somebody's body and then is trying to like. It's like wish fulfilling aliens too. No, they're just like blending in.
There's he's got like a science project in his basement, and he ends up like discovering interdimensional like aliens, right?
Something like.
And then one of them
Gets
gets
through
in,
a thing.
and then it's like a who in the house is an alien and who not kind of deal.
Oh, okay.
The next one, John, you may have seen. Have you seen the live action Popeye?
No, with Robin Williams?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
That one,
I love it.
We watched during the pandemic. We
Yeah.
watched it on the computers.
Yeah, we watched that over Discord, and I think the reason why it's so low is because of Sean.
Oh, Sean hated it.
Sean gave it a 4.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
9,
That's
9,
the lowest
10.
I've seen yet.
Sean.
You guys, you and Jason gave it 9s?
Yeah, and then Mike gave it a
10?
10. And then Sean was like 4.
4?
Fuck that
So
shit.
what does the average come out to?
And large. 8.
Large. Large. Yeah, we didn't do the same line. That scene goes, he's large. And he's large. He's large.
And they're singing about
Popeye.
no
Bluto.
It's chicken.
Bluto.
What's
They're
that?
singing, no, Olive Oil is singing about Bluto in that scene.
About how large he is.
really loved the set.
Oh my
on
God.
that movie.
They really took something amazing with the setting of that movie.
No,
Yeah.
that's
It is
Just like a
it feels
a
like
seaside
pieces
town.
of yes, it's like a seaside town, but it feels kind of like a pieces of a stage play.
Yeah.
But
It's
like
cartoony.
overly realistic.
Yeah. It's got
cool.
like this weird cartoony vibe to it as well. Like
Yeah.
everything is kind of rounded,
Yeah.
you know, like unnaturally, like things in real life. Like a tugboat isn't going to look like that.
They
and-
truly got the animation
yeah.
down, and even the characters look almost animated in the way they are. Like
that's really hard to pull off.
Robin Williams is already animated.
Hey, that's pretty good.
but I would assume we probably, for most of us, probably gave that movie a 1 in the 1, 2, 3 category because it was just
Yeah.
we respected the way it was made. It was
Yeah.
cool. The movie itself, script wise, was just bizarre, hard to follow.
Pacing was really bad on it. There's just some areas that just goes on for way too long. And it's like a 2-hour movie or something like that.
It's really long, yeah.
Yeah, and then the end drags. The end almost has a Marvel-esque fight in the terms of like how long it goes and what the stakes are. Where you're like, I know who's gonna win. Why are we still doing this?
There's a lot of water. I appreciated that.
Yeah, I tend too much water. Because Robin Williams, awesome, and then I always forget her name who plays Olive Oil, but was the woman from The Shining.
oh, okay.
Perfect casting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
So maybe that was the last one because these next few are definitely. There's only one on here that was above 9, and that was me rating something that you guys absolutely fucking.
Oh, I
hated.
think I know what you're talking about.
And that's the next one.
Ah!
Okay, so that would be Meet the Feebles.
Oh, yeah, you told me a little bit about this one. Give
Meet
me a
the
recap.
Feebles is a Percy. Wait, right? No, who made this? Peter Jackson.
Jackson.
Peter
Okay.
Jackson, like Muppets parody.
Of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Peter Jackson.
Yeah.
And the reason why this got into our vision is because you saw it being played on the TV at a bar. Mm-hmm. You were just out and about one night and saw it and was like, what is this? And then when you looked it up and saw it was Peter Jackson, you're like, we got to watch this. And they watched it alone because they didn't care to wait for me. And
I tried to do you a favor by watching that before you.
well, afterwards, like then it was like, we got to get Jason to watch it. And Mike would be like, yeah, don't watch it.
Deanna and Mike, you guys are actually Muppets fans, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that
Muppets
was
are
like
awesome.
even more so you were like, I gotta watch this one.
Even more so, I didn't want to watch it.
I mean, I love puppet things. Even that more recent crime Muppet
Yeah, I
thing.
hadn't seen that one.
I don't want
Whatever. it was
Something with
called.
Melissa McCarthy.
Who the fuck cares?
Haunted Mansion, the new one.
Haunted Mansion.
Whatever it was one of Jim Henson's sons, right, or something that went off and did it on his
Tim
own.
Henson.
And then their like family was like, no, we don't approve of you. You're the black sheep. But yeah, I watch all that kind of stuff because I like to see puppets.
Yeah, and this movie was definitely had a lot to say. Like, I think he was like really trying to be deep about like we're gonna really show the dark seediness of the Hollywood industry, and we're gonna be gross and disgusting with Muppets. And there's something about that always just rubs me the wrong way, where it's like there's not really any class to this message here. It's just like there's rape in this movie. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep.
Like,
It's
But
bad.
like that's Hollywood, right?
yeah, like that's
Say
so,
again,
like,
yikes.
so like I understand what they were trying to do, but it also like because it comes across so crude, it's like, is this just what you?
They weren't
want
subtle about it. They
to?
should have been a little. He should have been a little bit more subtle with how he was trying to do a Muppets, but realistic Hollywood.
But when it comes
version of the
across too
Muppets.
crude, it doesn't feel like they're condemning it either.
Right. Yes. But like you said, it's just disgusting and gross, and like I think they go. There's rape. There's like a secret porn factory downstairs.
Yeah.
That like someone gets murdered down there, right?
There's a lot. Yeah, everything that you could think.
We
of.
watch.
There's a Vietnam flashback.
That's the saving grace. Is the Vietnam flashback?
Oh.
I'm not even kidding you. It's the funniest fucking part.
The movie ends in a very satisfying way.
Yeah, does it just end with like a? Well, I guess I don't want to spoil.
No, I'll spoil it. I think we should
Spoil the
spoil it.
feebles.
Please, yeah.
No, I
please.
think I remember how it ends.
The ending.
Does everyone just die?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. It's like a
The
kinda
one,
like the end.
the maid actress who's supposed to be like the Miss Piggy type. She's a hippo, and she was like
ridiculed throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, like, and they just, like, was she the one who was a victim of a rape?
No,
I don't really
think so.
remember.
No, but like the producer or whatever is like her boyfriend, and there ends up being all these like drug deals and stuff, and then finally she just like snaps, and she comes with like a fucking
That's right.
LMG type machine gun and just lights up the entire stage.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
The last like 10 minutes, Mike was actually enjoying it.
Yeah, I was
Because he was
excited.
like, yes, every fucking thing is dying. I hated watching all of that. And they're all getting just, every one that they showed getting killed was dying in like this very
grotesque.
grotesque way as she was just blowing him away with a machine gun.
It was cathartic, to say the least.
Yeah. So
There's a
Anyway,
lot to be said about that
good
movie.
times.
Do not watch it.
that's the one where it started. The list starts to go down for these two. That was like my last one that I actually think was enjoyable. I would watch that one again.
What was the ratings?
I gave it a 10, 6, 7.
Jason gave it a 6, Mike gave it a 7.
Yeah, that's the lowest rating I'm pretty sure I've ever given. Like
No.
individual, right? Oh, you're right.
No,
you're right.
there's
One
worse.
that is...
You're right.
You
Okay,
go
so we're about
lowest
to
of
find
low.
out.
Yeah. So this is where it goes down.
But that one probably had higher or lower production value.
That's a good
I would
question.
think it would
I think
be
it was a
higher
2.
production value, probably.
No. Because
No.
it was Peter
It was all
Jackson's
puppets?
right at the beginning of his career. It was almost like an indie portion of it. And the puppets are just not...
They're not done well.
They're not Jim Henson puppets.
But they're not done badly though either.
No, it's convincing enough.
So
but
maybe it
it's-
was a 2, maybe.
Convincing of what? That they're puppets or that they're real?
that they're characters.
Oh, that's just... Okay, yeah.
That was probably a 3-1.
Because like they're not tricking Mike into
7.
believing that they have a behind the scenes.
But they also
That's
are
the bar. If Mike believes that that's a real thing that's not a puppet, then you know that they did it right.
But also,
they gotta hire you to be like a test subject.
A credibility factor.
Yeah.
They just bring him into a room and then like open a door and a puppet's there and Mike goes, "What is that thing?"
That'll sell. Oh, nice puppet.
Yeah. Dang it.
they're also like decent enoughly put together to be convincing of a parody.
Yeah, and
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
time you're not thinking like,
And it's obviously
there's
a parody.
hands inside those puppets. You're like convinced, like you're in it.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
it's
it's-
immersive enough. But I mean, it's obviously a parody because it's like, let's do puppets, but gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, like with the Muppets is about show business for a lot of times.
yeah, that's
anyway,
true.
You know, so it is like just like let's do that, but the real one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Next one is a film that we saw in theaters that we have yet to watch outside of theaters. That we were the
Tusk.
only people in the theater for,
Tusk.
and we were really excited about seeing this film.
Tusk?
We were.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we
I
were
guessed it.
So
I think one of the funniest things was after we walked out of that film, we were trying to figure out why we were so excited to see it. And we were thinking back to what we had been shown in the trailers and what we had heard about it. And we were like, what? It was pitched to us through these trailers and everything that it was going to be a man turning another man into a walrus. And then...
but a dark comedy about a man turning another man into a walrus.
But that's all that happened.
That is the movie.
There's no other layers like really to it. It's just a man turning another man into a walrus.
How does he...
Well, hold on. Yeah, what do we?
I would argue that there's half a layer that we're not talking about.
I want to hear about it because I would agree too.
Yeah, well, for starters, we were about to leave that movie about halfway through. I don't know
We
if you guys...
kept getting up.
Yeah,
Because we were the only people in the theater, so we would like pace up and down the aisles like, should we go?
I remember looking at these two, and they were even talking about, oh, we may need to leave this. This is so fucking awful. And
It's torture porn
I think
for a lot of it.
at one point, all three of us were up. And we looked at the screen, and Johnny Depp, of all people, shows up as this weird accent detective, starts blaring on about God knows what. We can't even understand it.
Because it was like took our seats.
Because it was like all like a. Is that Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
Hold on, let's figure out if it's Johnny Depp because he's in his character. So we're like, yep, that's Johnny Depp. Let's see what else this movie has to say.
And when did Tusk come out? What year was that?
2016.
Really?
Check it.
People who made Tusk are going to watch this podcast and be like, they didn't even see the movie.
2015.
They weren't
2014.
paying attention.
Well, let me tell you who made the movie. Is Kevin Smith.
Oh.
It's one of his movies.
Yeah.
Weird.
And he has, it's weird, it was the start of a trilogy that he made that
He
follows.
did the other one. Did
Yeah.
he do the third
He
one?
did two.
Tusk,
only did two?
Musk, and...
Yoga Hoser.
Yoga.
No, that's what it's called. Yoga Hosers.
Yoga Hosers is the second one. And it's about, I think it's a through, the through line is Johnny Depp's character. And I
Now,
think,
when you say it's a trilogy, this is a linear, or this is like in the middle of that happening?
I don't know,
the other
I
thing
think it's
happens?
more like
It's
Knives
crossover
Out.
episodes?
Think of a spin-off.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like Knives Out-esque where it's like another weird, bizarre thing that then this detective's going to be brought into.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he also was like came in pretty late to Tusk.
Yeah, so he comes like midway
And he
through.
doesn't do anything really. They find it, right?
Yeah.
But like it doesn't stop him.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that I think about Tusk that really why we were up pacing is because you were seeing these things happen to our main character where there was no coming back from.
When you're seeing those other characters like try to find him and rescue him, you're like, don't. He's not going to be able to keep living.
Yeah, it's just
not
let it
worth
happen.
It's not worth it now. Don't find him.
He cuts his legs off, he cuts his arms off, he
Sews him inside blubber.
a fat suit
Weird.
made by other people he's killed, and then takes his femurs, shaves them down, sticks them in his
Ugh.
mouth,
And those are his tusks.
and those
Yeah,
are
that
his
is
tusks.
gruesome. I don't
It's
like
like
that.
exactly, and
And so
that's why
there's
we
a
were just
scene-
like, "What the fuck are we
not for
watching?"
me.
Not only do you not want them to rescue him because he's
Of the
now a
damage,
walrus,
Yeah.
but they were cheating on him
Yeah.
the whole
With
time
each other. His
And it's
girlfriend
like-
and his best friend are cheating on him now.
Oh.
And
that
now
never-
they're trying to rescue him.
and that
it's
never
like,
comes to
do
fruition.
you want to rescue him?
Yeah.
Yikes.
That never comes to fruition.
Yeah.
It's not like he finds out that they were cheating.
No.
That just happens.
Because what do? You're a walrus now.
Yeah, because at the end of the movie,
I hate this movie.
John,
I haven't seen it.
the end of the movie is them at a wildlife preserve feeding him fish.
It's bad.
Legitimately.
So it really is a movie about a guy
Yeah.
turning another guy into a walrus.
he
Okay.
psychologically turns Justin Long's character.
Yeah, he thinks he's a walrus now. And like I said, when they
don't like this.
When they go into the basement, and they finally find him. We're like, oh my god! Then it cuts to our first real close up of his face as a walrus, and him going, and we're like, oh no! It's grotesque and
don't like
hilarious.
this.
I hate this.
It's like a flesh stitched walrus. It's
yeah,
fucked up.
yeah. It feels like
Human Centipede.
the America's closest attempt to Human Centipede
Canada's.
so far.
Canada.
You're right, Canada's. Yeah, wild.
All right, what's the...
Next is a similar experience, except it was in my basement
Ah, yes.
and not at a movie theater.
You turn somebody into a walrus? Mm-hmm. Whoa.
It's not totally different, I guess.
The movie's Poultrygeist.
I think we've sworn off of that one. That's one of the few that's just
And I believe I've told you a little bit about it.
Yeah, I think you have.
It is a
Refresh me.
yeah. I will be glad to.
Oh, can we put it like an advisory before this?
Well, we're not showing it.
No, I know, but like when we talk about it, like if you want to skip us talking about Poultrygeist, click a different.
You already told us about
Yeah.
walrus.
And there's
man.
To this point
to
in
me,
the
this
video.
gets worse.
The movie is made from the perspective of, well, first it's a horror parody, and it's about like chicken coming to life after being cooked and stuff, but coming back to life to take haunt on us. And it is from the perspective of like vegetarians trying to get you
Sure,
to not
yeah.
eat meat anymore. Because truly, I don't think I ate meat for like a week after that movie, and not because of like a moral obligation, just because they made it so gross
fucking
that
disgusting.
I wasn't thinking like I'm eating chicken. I'm like I'm eating the thing from that movie, and that's weird.
But the opening of Dexter doesn't bother you.
No, Makes me hungry.
I agree with that.
Yeah. It's a good, looks like a real good breakfast. Good cut of ham.
We watched that one pretty early on.
That was way before any of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
It was a retroactive.
It was like, oh shit, remember that movie that we thought was gross? Maybe we
Yep.
should put that on the list, but let's not rewatch it.
We're never going to rewatch that one.
All right, ready for our top 5 or bottom
No.
5?
Bottom 5.
Not ready.
All right, let's hit them quicker.
What do you think the next is going to be?
It's crazy because
Where the Wild
Where the Wild Things are.
didn't really make
I got it.
5. Ah.
Way to Wild Things all.
Jason and I... No, Jason liked it the most out of the three of us.
You know why?
What do you give it?
A 7.
What'd you give it?
6.
What might give it?
6.
Oh. I thought you wanted to talk about it because you loved it so much. And
We
you were
could
mad about its
we could
rating.
have had a
Fun to
perfect
talk
666, but you fucked it up.
Well, I wasn't aware of it. At
That
the
would be
time.
a double number. You can't do that.
That movie is the
be
devil.
But you brought this to the table. You had seen it before, right?
Yeah, and I knew the ending fucking sucked.
Spoiler alert.
And I hated the main character. I hated the ending. I hated a lot about this movie because the animals were like kind of dicks. But it just
Commentary.
Bob and Terry were so iconic, and I wanted to just keep saying it all the time. So I was like, "Fuck it, I gotta show these guys Bob and Terry."
Yeah, you always talked about Bob and Terry to the point where
Our group chat.
was Bob and Terry for the longest
Yeah.
time. Who was Bob? Who was Terry? Whoever wasn't texting in the chat. If I was texting in the chat, I was texting Bob and Terry.
Now, Where the Wild Things Are was a great children's book.
Fantastic.
Turned into a terrible movie.
Fever Dream.
Fever Dream.
It's
And
a,
part of me, I think that's why I gave it a 7. Part of me liked it because I was like, I think this achieved what it was supposed to be. That felt like a nightmare, like a real dream. Like, I'd never seen a movie that felt truly like a dream. And looking back on it, I still feel like, what happened in that movie? I remember it the way I remember dreams.
It doesn't sound that bad. It sounds weird.
Yeah, because that's why I want to rewatch it, is because I remember really feeling like we all of us had a relatively unpleasant time with it, but I kind of remember it as like I want to watch it again. I want to see
well, I
what
think
all
that's
the
where our
hubbub was
score
about.
comes
Of our
from maybe the rewatchability. I think maybe.
yeah.
Because
I
it's a
want to
well-made
get like
film.
Yeah,
I want to
think
get
it's
like
got a
violently
well-done
high
production.
for it this time though. I wasn't smoking pot at the time or anything like that.
No.
So I would love to go in with that new perspective.
And then you will find Where the Wild Things Are.
Yes, I will.
You will
I
become
like
one
where
of the
Sesame
Wild
Street
Things.
is.
Wait,
But you have to
how
get
do I
high
get
to
there?
find Sesame
Would you tell me
Street.
how to get?
Next one we all watched here together for Halloween.
Oh, the Vince Vaughn.
Munsters.
The Munsters.
Oh, the Munsters.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the Munsters.
Yeah, that was bad.
that wasn't even close to being good.
That was
What did everybody give it as
so
a rating?
strange.
We got
I had a tough time rating
7,
this one.
6, 7, 5.
What? Who?
Yeah, give us the
Me
7.
7.
6,
Jason 6.
7.
7.
Mike
5.
7. Me 5.
Oh,
Is this
okay.
the one directed by?
Rob Zombie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not enjoy watching it apparently, and also the whole movie felt like you could have just shown me the last 10 minutes. That
Right?
story.
That's the interesting part.
Yeah, the interesting part is after they get to where they're going at the end of the movie.
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
When they're with all the regular human people and they have to blend in, that's what the Munsters is all about.
Yeah.
Make your own movie, I guess. But like the whole him wanting to be a comedian and maybe I don't know enough about the Munsters, and maybe that was truly an awesome movie.
I know that I don't know enough about the Munsters because I
don't want to
remember
know
it.
about the Munsters.
I remember it from when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
I think I'm in that camp with you.
This is where we start to make some controversy, I think.
Oh,
Because there's 2 left, right?
3.
Oh,
Snyder Cut's got to be here, right?
This is where we
Snyder
make the most
well, it's
controversy.
got to be somewhere.
Snyder Cut.
Snyder Cut. Not
4
much to
hours.
say.
4 hours.
You watched it with us, right?
No,
I haven't seen
it
either
was
cut.
4 hours. And it didn't get better than the original cut.
Well, I can't say that because I didn't watch the Justice League and I don't plan on it.
I never
Well,
watched it.
we watched the Justice League,
Yeah,
and it's more enjoyable than this 4 hour. I thought. It's because when you take that long to tell a story, you better have a compelling fucking story to tell.
Yeah.
You have director's cuts. This,
This is quite different.
they went
Oh,
and
yeah, of course.
reshot more things for it. That's...
so many more things that it really is its own movie. It's like its
Yeah.
new movie. That is not my gripe though. Of like
not a-
why did they let him get to do it? It's like why did they let him do it, and then it turned out the way it is, and then everyone is like, cool. Like, I would love to actually. I've never met someone that liked the movie. Like actually met somebody. Like
I've
not
met a
just
few
like,
people.
I would love to hear them say one of their favorite quotes from the movie. Talk in depth about one of their favorite scenes of the movie. And not in terms of what they think it's going to mean for the rest of the universe. As in terms of what it means for here and now and entertainment.
You're not writing a movie that's truly understanding these characters. You're writing what I think the badassery looks like in my head. There's a scene where Aquaman fucking litters in the ocean.
Just because it's cool looking.
Yeah.
Is this Jason Momoa?
Yeah, he's just walking into the ocean and he just whips a glass bottle out into the ocean. And it's like...
And he's like drinking alcohol and then you're like...
You're like...
Is this like a low point for him?
No. This is his intro.
This is his... and
It's like
his
slow
high
motion
point.
coming out of the water, drinking alcohol, throw alcohol into the ocean. You know?
It's just a scene to like... This is what would make Aquaman look badass.
Yeah, it's just-
but ultimately, like...
But it makes him look like a douche then.
Right. And that's like a lot of what that movie is like... And the Flash stuff, it's like, how could we make Flash look cool?
Is this the Flash from the show?
No.
It's Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller's Flash.
Why was that different? I'm curious. I
Oh,
haven't
the Flash
seen
from
any of
the
this
CW show
DC.
stuff is its own universe of things. That's called the Arrowverse.
Is
It's
it
all
Oh, okay. So Arrow and Flash are in the same universe as Riverdale.
no,
Damn.
not all the CW stuff.
Everything ever aired on CW is one universe.
But there's so many things that are clearly setting up a universe that's like, I can't stand that when you are more concerned about setting up things than making a real movie, because then you've just made a trailer.
You made Act 1.
Yeah, and the amount of times like when
There's so many
I'm going to go into the Martian scene.
Oh, a Martian Manhunter?
There is a scene where Lois Lane is talking to Clark Kent's... Superman is dead at this point in the universe. She's talking to Clark Kent's mother, or adoptive mother, I should say. And
Whose name is?
Martha.
Martha.
And
That's my mom's name too.
she's like trying to talk her into being like, I know that you aren't working anymore. I know you're really doing nothing right now. You're kind of wasting away in grief of Clark. And I know that he would want you to keep working and going. And like convinces her to get back as a reporter. Walks out of the room and then she turns into the Martian Manhunter. And we're like, wait, she was the Martian Manhunter?
Is this a Snyder Cut reshoot?
I don't even know if the conversation originally was part of it or not. I don't know.
That conversation is not in the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it turns
So
into the
either it was
Martian
refilmed
Manhunter.
or it was cut from the film.
Yeah. Martian Manhunter has not been in the MCU or the DCEU yet, so like that's a shock already. Like, whoa, a hero that we've never seen before was pretending to be Clark Kent's mom and trying to convince Lois Lane to get back into the reporting game, and then he flies off. And then you're like, if they don't bring him fucking back, I'm going to be pissed. And then the movie ends, and then he doesn't show up until the after credits scene where he shows up and he's like, hey, Batman, there's other superheroes out there, and I'm one of them. And then flies away.
It felt like a Martian Manhunter screen test of how we can incorporate this character into the universe. But they put it in the movie, and he doesn't fucking come back at all.
Yeah,
until the after credits.
yeah,
but
really odd.
that's, to me...
Why does Martian Manhunter care about whether this woman is working at a newspaper or not?
Never comes back.
So strange.
They do a lot of off-putting stuff in that movie. I know this. I make fun of the dog thing, but that's like tip of the iceberg in terms of just
Yeah.
what the.
There's
fuck?
a lot of slow-mo. There's too much slow-mo.
In a 4-hour movie?
In a
Can't
4-hour
wait.
movie. Anyways, do you want to move on from the Snyder Cut?
Yes.
This is a great conversation, though. I actually really enjoyed this
the
one.
Snyder Cut?
Yeah. Because I've only heard like little bits and pieces about why it's bad, and this is now... I'm learning so much today.
They go way in depth with the alternate universe thing with Batman, don't they? At some
Yeah.
point.
I don't even know what that is.
There's like a split universe.
Yeah, where
is that Flashpoint stuff? Or is this...
It's
I don't
not,
understand.
But so, like, okay, here's another thing on
guns.
top of this is I'm not as expert in DC as I am in a Marvel universe.
But you're the expert, Dan.
But I do know a lot of the DC stuff, and I don't know where some of this stuff comes from because it just doesn't. The Flashpoint paradox can be used in a bunch of different ways. I've never seen it used the way that they're doing it, and it's still like very weird to show this stuff and not have that movie.
Yeah, the Flashpoint.
We're getting that movie this year.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Flashpoint paradox is Flash runs so fast he goes back in time. He saves his parents or whatever his backstory is, depending on what universe or continuity.
Yeah, if he saves his mom or whatever.
But it's always him going back, doing something, and it changes everything. Okay. So he's doing a selfish thing for himself that ends up fucking up the entire universe. And
it looks like that's how they're going to reset the DC universe that way. All of the movies that they didn't like don't count. And
their Days of Future Passing it.
Yeah, and the last scene of the Justice League is like a glimpse of what the world looks like after Flashpoint, right?
Yeah.
Because like it's all this 4-hour-long movie, and then it cuts to like an after. Is it even an after credit scene?
No, it's just the end of the movie.
Just the end of the movie where it's like post-apocalyptic. Jared Letter's Joker is there.
Weird.
But he's working with Batman, I think.
We live in a society.
Yeah,
they took aspects of the Injustice storyline. The Injustice storyline, you can cut all this out if it's not interesting. Fine. But the Injustice storyline is that there's another universe where Lois Lane ends up dying and Superman goes rogue. And he just wants to kill fucking everything and anything because Lois Lane dies. So then you have this team of people who are like, we need to take down Superman. So some villains become good guys and some good guys are like on the side of Superman. And that's kind of what we're peeking into is it's a kind of a both, like you said, like a marrying of
Flashpoint's going to lead
inspiration
to Injustice.
of Injustice and Flashpoint where there's two separate timelines. One where Lois Lane's alive and Superman's still, or even if she did die, he doesn't go down the wrong path. Then there's one where he goes down the wrong path. And that is an interesting concept, but also it's very reliant on Superman, which is just...
Why are you doing a driving animation?
No, I was milking Superman.
Oh, you're milking his teats.
Is that what you were doing?
No, I was doing a teeter-totter. Like,
oh, okay. Like you gotta make that more clear.
He's the focal point here, and like...
The fulcrum.
Yeah.
You should have had one...
Teeter-totter going on?
Yeah. Okay.
This is
Teeter-totter?
Yeah, hey, let's go to the playground, guys.
Teeter-totter. The fulcrum's right here. Beep, beep. Honk, honk. Teeter-totter.
So the last two are not going to be very controversial. The next one, we probably don't even have to spend too much time talking about, Holmes and Watson.
Oh yeah, just a bad movie.
It was... well, I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown. It's Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, the dynamic comedy duo of Step Brothers and Talladega Nights.
Yeah,
that decide that they're going to do a
Sherlock Holmes.
Is it a comedy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
is it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
But it is the comedy in the same vein as all those other movies, except they didn't realize that it had been a couple years, and it doesn't really work anymore.
Gotcha.
Well, even then, like, sure, it's been a couple years and that comedy doesn't work, but they didn't even do it the same way as, like, there was no heart in the movie
no, you're
at
right.
all.
No heart.
Like, Step Brothers and Talladega Nights, there's a little bit of heart there.
Oh, I love Talladega Nights. Step Brothers are good, too.
This was
Talladega
just
Nights.
like, hey...
it's like an SNL sketch.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we want to hang out again.
Yeah.
So it's like Grown-Ups, but John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell, and then the jokes were kind of lame.
Lame.
Kind of.
Like, lame and offensive in like a way where it's
fart
like...
jokes. And like...
And if they weren't poopy or fart, it would be like an offensive joke where you're like, it just wasn't that funny, so you don't really get any... You're not going to get away with the fact that was kind of racist.
So that was that one.
And
then the worst movie of all time.
Oh yeah,
all time.
Do you want to take a guess? Because you either have seen it or
you know about it.
Will not see it.
And I mentioned the director earlier today.
It might really be one of the worst movies of all time.
I don't know.
The Last Airbender.
Oh, that's right. He did make a movie based on Sting. I've never seen it.
Ah! We're not watching it.
Oh,
it's like 2.5
Mike
hours
puts his
long.
foot down.
I just can't believe. Well, yeah, I guess I don't know. It's just like
It is.
It's a rite of passage for an Avatar fan, I think.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
something about
well, some
it.
people have written it off as I'm not going to watch it because it's going to ruin Avatar. But
I don't think it'll ruin Avatar, but I did write it off as I don't want to watch it because I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a good option.
I think it's just
Mike
like,
gets it.
I think it's just like, think about what an Avatar live action movie would look like.
I mean, I've heard a lot about it. You know, I've seen little.
No, but I want you to
scenes
picture
from
it.
it.
Yeah, just picture it first. Like what, you know, like
How do you see
when
it?
I'm
I
going
hate
in,
it.
what?
No.
Well, because when I was going in, like I had preconceived, like I had like what I would like it to look like. Then I had preconceived notions of what it might look like, and then I had like the bad version, and it's worse than that in so many ways because it's like just in little things like how they pronounce people's names.
I know that.
You know,
yeah.
but then it's like but then it's like just it's that moment that Iroh walks on screen. That really does it for me. That goes
Chugs a bottle, throws it in the ocean.
You're like, Iroh would never do that.
no, it's just a guy that walks on screen. And I'm like, oh, who's this guy? And then they go, Uncle, and I'm like, no, that's not fucking Uncle Iroh.
No.
Fuck you.
How familiar were you with Avatar at this point?
I had finally watched it all.
I think you
okay.
just finished it.
Gotcha.
Actually.
So I had watched it when I was in high school at a party that was half watching, and I didn't.
The movie.
Yeah, and I didn't know what the show was.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about it. I wasn't paying attention. Then I watched the show in 2020 for the first time ever. Fell in love with it. It was one of the best shows of all time. And so I was like, I know there's a movie. I know I can remember one scene of the movie. We gotta watch that movie. And I know it's famously bad, but now I've seen the show. How bad is it? And I still had preconceived notions of like, well, I know it's bad. It's probably going to look like this. And it just looked so
Somehow
much worse.
worse.
So much worse.
Unbelievably bad.
And they used the budget in the worst ways. Like, they didn't try to make bending
Look cool.
interesting.
It's the lamest thing in the world.
It is. It takes like 20 people to bend a rock.
Wow.
That's the
Appa's-
famous scene. That's the famous scene where all these earthbenders are, "Hoo, hoo, ah," and then one rock passes by the screen very slowly. And you're like, there's something else off.
Appa is terrifying.
Maybe
Yes,
they
he
need
is.
George Lucas to come in and like animate a bigger rock.
Yeah. Well, I think
CGI.
the best part of that
scene.
scene is it's the scene is basically the entire episode in season 1 where they find that earth-bending prison that's on a steel ship.
Yeah.
They'll take people and you're like, you can't bend here. They find that earth-bending prison and it's not on a ship. It's just in the middle of rocks. So like they're just like, what are you doing? There's rocks around you. Don't let them oppress you. And it's like, did you not watch the show?
Oh my god.
No, he didn't.
But that's the thing, he did.
No, but like,
He
there's
watched
no
it
way.
with his daughter, and his daughter said, I love this show, so I watched it with my daughter. He's like, oh, and my daughter went as Katara for Halloween.
Okay,
so
but here's the thing. Watching a show with your kid, is that watching the show or having the show on with your kid's there and I'm just kind of meandering around?
Avatar: The Last Airbender is a show that's so good and not just a kid's show that is the kind of show that you would sit and
Yeah, but
actually watch. And
There's
do.
no way he could have watched the show and
Right.
made that
I get
movie.
that. I'm just saying that
it can't be-
It doesn't add up.
It can't be. It just can't be because the way that you have all the bending is off. Nobody is bending correctly.
No, the
none of
amount of work that goes into animating those bending to be like based on different types of fighting styles and stuff.
Yeah, none of that was transferred over. And then you have characters who just are not the same as their characters on the screen. And it's not even like a different interpretation. It's like, I don't get it. You know, like...
Going back to the bending, did they not do different martial arts styles for each one? Really?
They
Did
just
they all
did,
do
like,
the same one, or they
dancing.
just like did random stuff?
I think it was kind of, it felt like random until it was multiple people, and then it felt like a choreographed kind of like a grapevine, like a type of dance thing you'd teach somebody at.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's like they made it
It's
up.
bad.
And then there's like a scene where Aang and Katara are doing all these like bending moves, but there's no bending happening. I'm like, I wonder if there was supposed to be bending here or not.
Whoa.
They're just practicing, but it's like, this is weird that they're just doing
Well,
like.
At the end of the
slow
movie,
dance
isn't there
stuff.
like like a shot of water that like takes forever to get to the other side?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
They don't
moving
do
in
the koi
slow-mo.
thing. They just do like a giant wave of water, right?
Yeah, there's no monster.
Rather than the koi thing.
Not in the budget for that one.
You're talking about when they're in the northern.
Yeah, because they do the whole first book. It's just like they meet Aang, narrate the rest of the story until we get to the light, or till we get to the North Pole or whatever.
Yeah, there was no...
It's so strange what they chose to do.
That's terrible.
To do and not do, or some things that they would change. It's like, you made the story make less sense and you made it more complicated for yourself. The way the story was before was more economical for you even. You know, just like, it was very strange. Sokka is humorless. Sokka, you're right. Sokka is humorless.
Straight up,
Yeah.
not worth a watch. Don't watch it.
Mike says it's not worth the watch.
No.
Truly, it's not. I just feel like there's
rite of
a
passage
curiosity that comes from like my favorite show of all time. How did they massacre my boy?
Yeah.
If you watch it and he wants you to watch it and you watch it with him, don't watch it with me and don't tell me you watched it. I don't want to know.
He doesn't want to tell me. Don't ruin you for me. If you watch it, I'll like you less.
Would you watch it again? No, you'd watch it again.
No.
I couldn't. Like Jason was saying, like maybe if it was a little bit more economical in the way that it tells the story, or even like less.
I would watch
time.
it with someone who hasn't seen it and wants to see it. You know, like I wouldn't watch. I don't think I'd watch it again with you because I don't think you want to watch it.
Yeah.
But if someone was like, "Wait, they made an Avatar movie," like, "Oh boy, let's go watch that
But
shit."
that's like 2.5 hours. They really dragged that shit out.
Yeah,
That's like watching the Snyder
2.5
Cut.
hours?
Maybe not 2.5. It's at least 2, I think.
yeah, it's a pretty.
What's your favorite bad movie? Am I doing this right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're doing great.
Really, that's the question, right? Is like, do you have a bad movie?
I don't know. My questions never get answered.
What are you talking about? We answered them. We just edited it out.
Are you gonna edit that out?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that thing.
I love getting shit on
Okay.
when I'm not around.
Yeah, I
said the camera's
I
out.
said the best comment from this one was like, I don't know why I watch this. I just get straight.
Well, there was a point in the last podcast where you guys were talking about me, and then you're like, "Oh, fuck that." But it wasn't like I was the point. It was like some.
Oh, you're talking about something else, and then yeah, Dan liked that. Yeah, fuck Dan.
You said something. Oh, it was like Nightmare Before Christmas, I think. When you
Oh,
were like,
yeah.
Oh, that's one of Dan's favorite, and you were like, "Fuck him." I was like, "What the?
You really
what
did
did
catch
I do?"
strays on that one.
That guy. Yeah, but if you have a bad movie or a movie that you think, even if you genuinely enjoy it or you just enjoy it because of how bad it is, send it our way. You know, we'll put it on the list.
Or you
watch
just
it,
think
we'll
of
judge
a
it.
really bad movie and you want to traumatize us. Send it our way.
Oh, you know what?
Send us movies that you just heard are bad and you haven't seen. And we'll just watch all of them. We'll watch whatever you send.
Yeah.
There's one more on this list.
What?
Yeah, I missed it. It's
It's everything on Jason's YouTube channel.
no, it's Under the Last Airbender.
By how far?
It's called Tron Legacy.
End the show. I'm done.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for joining us, Mike. Thanks for joining us, Dan. Go ahead and
You crossed the fucking line.
go ahead and either leave a comment on the YouTube video or email us at GaryOakSucks69@gmail.com.
Or the Discord.
Or hit us up on the Discord, which there will be a link to in the description, and I think there might even be a link on the podcast description, depending on where you get
Mike,
your
no!
podcasts.
Subscribe to us on Patreon.
Mike's got a gun.
Yep, patrons for all.
Follow us
That's it.
wherever you get
That's it.
podcasts.
This is fun.
Wait, I'm still plugging.
Okay.
Twitter. We have an Instagram. You turned it off, but that one's still on.
Yeah. Hot couches.
It's still on.
We got an Instagram.
It was almost the perfect podcast.
Do we have a Facebook page?
Yes.
We need a Facebook
Almost
We have a
the
Facebook
perfect
page.
podcast.
Almost.
There's also a subreddit.
There is a
Except for the last
subreddit.
All right. Say goodbye. Wave goodbye.
It's
We're
Twitter.
cutting all this out, though, right, John?
Probably.